Nice! Hey everybody, welcome to the Anime Boomers Podcast. We're back again with Necro 13 for the second time in a row. We're going to be talking localizer drama, because of course, it's a day that ends in Y, so the localizers are ruining everything. We're going to be talking about some Offkai Expo and some VTuber drama, as well as the disaster of the Miku Hatsune concert. I want to go ahead and kick it over to Cody first. How you doing, Cody?
Hi, everybody! How you doing? I don't know why I feel the need to greet all of you in a stupid-ass autistic voice every time you introduce me, but hi!
It's because my stupid-ass autistic voice. I'm always like...
I'm just kind of... This is kind of a relay race thing. I'm just picking up the torch, you know?
Just picking up the torch of me being just overly enthusiastic. Just like, hey, everybody, welcome to the show. How's it going?
My God! It's a podcast!
Of course, Spooky actually won't be on this episode. She's doing something right now. Very, very, very important stuff. So she can't be with us today. But she's with us in spirit.
Is it taxes?
It is not taxes. She pays her tax.
Dave takes time off for his taxes. I was making sure.
And of course,
you know, taxes, quote unquote.
Right, taxes. And of course, like I said, we have Necro 13 here. We've been talking off stream a lot about Dave, aka DSP. He's been doing his usual stupid stuff.
Yeah, I heard he's a big fan of Fallout.
Oh yeah,
the biggest.
He's now the biggest fan of Fallout. He can't even get like the names of enemies right. What did he call them? Armatrons?
Yeah, he called them Armatrons instead of Securitrons. You know, the thing that's in every Fallout game.
Got it a quarter right. It's got to be something. He remembered their Trons. There's some kind of Tron. Come on, you're just.
By the way, he's played all of those games like 3 times each, so he should probably know a little bit.
He's got a lot more problems than just name recognition.
You've got to forgive him because remember when he played Fallout 76, he was drunk off his ass, so he may not remember half of it.
He was drunk to the point he probably at the time thought that was the 76th game in the Fallout series. I didn't even play. At what point is this series gonna jump the shark? It's already a 75.
So have you guys watched the Fallout show yet? Because I haven't seen it yet, but I plan on watching it just to torture myself.
I haven't because I practice what I preach, and I always say no hate watching.
See, I can't help but hate watch. It's just...
You're why this shit keeps happening, then.
I know.
Just let it die, and they'll stop making these things.
I know, just watch it after the fact, and they say, it's finally canceled, and then you can just pirate it without having to... find it legally online at your favorite retailer. Wink, wink.
There you go. Yeah, maybe I'll wait for the series to get canceled. But the problem is, like, Netflix and Amazon, they don't want to cancel these shows now because they know that people like us are just waiting for it to happen so we can dunk on them. So I feel like they're just like, yeah, it's a money loser, but it has the right politics, so we have to dump money into it and waste it.
I don't even think it's the right politics. I think you might be half right, but it's more a matter of like once the wave of hate comes in, that's just bad PR, and that's just going to make them look like asses. And these companies are just terrified of looking like asses in the public eye, because if they look like asses, I mean, there's so much shit that goes down if you look like an ass as a corporation to the public. Look at Nijisanji. How they doing?
Oh man, they're
doing great. They just copyright strike everyone that they don't like.
Oh yeah, we've got that on the list.
Of an awful event.
Yeah, we've got that in the list too. And let's take a look at the Anycolor Inc. stock real quick. Let's see
it's
what
all
they're
coming up, Millhouse.
Oh, it's still in the red. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. God, they have just been it's been bad. It's been bad. Let's see. 1 month. But how about the 6-month outlook? Oof. Oof.
I do still feel bad for some of the livers that are there because we know that like some of them are decent folk. Like they're not all the sociopathic clique. And
Right.
like and the ones that are good folks and just trying to do good by their viewers and everything are just really getting dragged down with everything else. I mean, like one of the ones most featured in those screenshots is Petra. And by all accounts, she's one of the good ones there. She's decent. She ain't done nothing wrong to anybody. She's just trying to do her thing.
Yeah,
And she
Petra.
probably put in a lot of work to practice for this concert. And only thing anyone's gonna remember her for is her having a long ass neck. Because
I
some asshole
know.
Nijisanji couldn't rig her right.
I know.
And now,
Because like
and it's like,
Petra,
poor
Rosemi,
girl.
Fanana, like they've done absolutely nothing. They're not involved with any of this stuff, but they still get.
Fiana's issues are different. She kind of shot herself in the foot early on with like the infamous "educate yourselves" moment.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, but she hasn't done anything. Like she's not involved, as far as we know, with any of the Selene stuff. So,
Yeah.
like, I give her like a pass on all of that because it's like I have no evidence to suggest that she's involved with any of that. I know for a fact that Petra and Rosemi aren't. So
Yeah.
it sucks to see like the rest of the livers lose out because some of their coworkers are stupid and catty and are jealous of fellow talent. Because like at the end of the day, like this really boils down to that Selene was like supremely popular. I mean, she was like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe she was the #1 female talent in terms of like subscribers when she was fired. And I think there was a lot
she
of
would be #1 if it wasn't for Vox's simp army. She'd be #1
she'd be #1 overall. Yeah. But like it built a lot of resentment with some of the other livers because Selene is who she is, and she's not really what you would consider a traditional idol.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
And so like she got supremely popular because of her gaming, because of like her infectious laughter. Like you hear her talk and you just want to root for her because she's just so much fun. And I think some of the girls there, like the little clique that formed, they got really resentful of that because it's like, she's #1, but she's not really an idol. She's not part of our culture. She's not part of, she doesn't do the things that we do. So, they went out of their way to screw her over. I mean, you just look at like
was just regular old meat and potatoes jealousy. Like you have this chick that's just and the fact that I wonder if the pandering, the fact that some of these girls might have thought they needed to pander, and the guys too, like you need to pander to succeed, and she never did and succeeded. If there's resentment there, you know what I mean?
I think so.
Like you didn't have to I guess for the lack of a better term, sell your soul to get viewers.
You did. She didn't. Yeah, Selene never needed to do the girlfriend experience stuff, the boyfriend experience stuff that Vox and Alira and all them try to do. So I think there's some resentment there because like you know darn well that they don't like doing that stuff. Nobody likes to do that stuff. I mean, we just had a couple, like, what was it, like a month ago, Yuko Yurei of Idol was like, yeah, I don't want to do this stuff anymore. And she was doing stuff she didn't like. And like it's dangerous to get involved with the boyfriend experience, girlfriend experience stuff because you're playing on the parasocial nature of an audience. And I've learned this firsthand. The more parasocial that your audience becomes, the worse they become when that parasocial relationship is broken. That's how you get A-logs.
Yeah, that's how they feel super betrayed. Like it's not even just I don't like that guy anymore. It feels like you slighted them personally because they made their connection with you personal.
Right. And so that's how you get the overly obsessed, like they turned from like they turned from like being your biggest fans to your biggest enemies, and there's like no boundary that they won't cross to screw you over. And that's what's happening to poor Yuko right now. Is that all of her former supremely parasocial boyfriend or girlfriend experience guys, the unicorns or whatever, are like they want her like gone and forced offline and stuff. And it's crazy because like like Yuko's a decent person. Like, yeah, okay, she said she doesn't want to do this particular type of content. Okay, I believe creators should have the right to be able to like go into something else if they don't like it. I mean, we just had the Riro Ron stuff that happened. I feel like that may be like, I kind of wonder if the manager that was involved with that situation was the one that was like getting all of them to do the girlfriend experience stuff, and maybe
that is the rat. You know, I always wonder if you're supposed to roll your R with that double R on rat.
The rat.
But the rat, yeah.
It is if you're Noasagi.
Yeah.
The rat.
Yeah, the rat, yeah. That is sort of the rumor I've heard going around. And on the one hand, right, it feels like, it might be a little bit too much. I don't know if I believe that. On the other hand, like, it lines up too well, because as soon as the Riroran stuff fell through and she got fired and everything, like, a lot of Idol as a whole, that like the ones that were leaning into that, stopped.
Yeah.
Like, the GFE on the Idol Corp as a whole stopped. So if it wasn't the manager, like, pushing them to do it, it was like Riroran, like, encouraging her fellow performers, like, hey, this is really profitable, you should do this too, like, something there was connected, because the fact, or just the fact that, like, maybe Zavio, isn't that his name, Zavio, that runs Idol, like, maybe he just saw, like, how that got out of hand. It's like, all right, we're not doing this anymore, everybody stop. He might have stepped in. So something feels like it was connected to that. Like, it's just the timing's too perfect.
It's Avio. Not Zavio, it's Avio.
Avio. I don't know where I'm getting Zavio from. I guess I got Darkstalkers on the brain. I'm just confusing him with the zombie rockstar.
Yeah, actually, he's his corporation's actually working with Legal Mindset to like fix the contracts to make them more in line with U.S. and Canadian law, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah,
it's actually my tweet was the first one about it, and Avio actually quote tweeted me. I was like, "Oh snap! Where are all these notifications coming from?" Oh, the CEO quote tweeted me. Oh boy!
I think it's really cool. I think there's still some people that are swear up and down. I've seen them. I don't even think I've seen them say it. Swear up and down that Legal Mindset's a grifter. I don't get that. He seems like a guy that's just like, this is just win-win for him. He went down the rabbit hole. The rabbit hole is profitable. Why the hell wouldn't he? You know what I mean? He does not strike me as someone that's just getting involved in VTubers because VTubers are popular. He strikes me as a guy that's into, like, he knows enough of the in-jokes. He's got his little board. I don't know what you call it. It's not a soundboard, the video board, I guess.
Yeah.
He just spends half his streams now watching clips. Like, that's not something you do if you're just trying to profit off the VTuber thing. I think we've seen similar figures try to profit off of certain communities they weren't a part of, and like, you can compare that to Legal Mindset, and it's very different. Like, Legal Mindset is genuinely a guy I think is just into this, and I just think it's smart. Look, you could say like, oh well, he's covering the VTuber stuff because, you know, for whatever, but like, look, if you're into something that's popular and you're a content creator that can cover the thing you're into that's popular, why in the fuck wouldn't you?
Right, and that's kind of, I try to explain that to people. I'm like, you know, when we started this, like, Legal Mindset knew like maybe like a tiny little bit about VTubers, but part of the fun was getting to like explain to a guy that has a lot of love and adoration of like Japanese culture, because he's a guy, you know, he lives in Asian countries. Like, that's kind of his thing, is that he travels all throughout Eastern Asia and Southeastern Asia and helps people like relocate to those places. And he works with a lot of Asian companies. Like, so this is a guy that's like deeply rooted into the culture, that understands the culture and respects the culture. And it was like, the hardest part was to try to convince people, like, no guys, this guy isn't just like your average YouTuber that's gonna like get into it. He's gonna like cover it for a little while it's popular, and then he's just gonna bounce when the numbers drop or whatever. He's not that kind of guy. Like through like the multiple streams that we've been on with him and like explain this stuff, and he's gotten to watch some of these streams and meet these various VTubers and companies. Like, he's really fallen in love with the medium. I mean, let's be real here. Like, who doesn't love Hachima? Who doesn't love Korone or Fuamoko or Pippa, Tenma? Like who doesn't love like Pamu? Mint, Solan, Doki Bird, like he's just Sayu. Like he's fallen in love with all of these content creators. Alien Mixture's another good one. Hexa, Kiki, there's just like no like that's the cool thing about VTubers, right? Is that there's so many different personalities and everybody brings their own little bit of spice to the mix. That like any type of person, any type of personality, like it's out there. It's out there and they're having fun and they're doing their thing. Like what's not to love about that?
As I said before, the VTubing is like a whole new like type of entertainment that's only like a few years old, and it's like
that's right, chat. Shondo too.
Yeah, like it's just eminently fascinating. It's like this whole new kind of entertainment that's got this whole new vibe to it. It's like you're not just streaming; you're streaming as a character, and you have kayfabe, and you have like you get a design, and you have this whole look to you, and your whole gimmick, and how kayfabe are you? Well, it varies from entertainer to entertainer. It's like this whole extra layer. And I brought this up. I can't remember if it was here or Legal Mindset stream, but weirdly, it's the best thing to happen to female content creators ever.
Yeah, for real.
If you're a woman that just wants to be an entertainer, you have another shot because I think I said it on Legal Mindset stream. Like Twitch thoughts ruined streaming for women. Because now, like, you see a woman streaming, oh, well, you're probably a grifter, right? You're an e-girl. You're just doing this, to grift off of lonely men. And there's people that accuse VTubers of that, but we've seen, like, no, it's just now that you can just stream as a character removed from who you are, you can decide how far in one direction or another you're going to go with your content based on your character design and your kayfabe and all that. Like, girls can now just put on a show. And just that's it. They don't have to worry about like if they can lean into the parasocial shit, and parasocial shit's going to happen, but you can just stream without that.
Right.
Like even someone like Gura, right? She has like one of the worst fan bases. Like the parasocial shit with Gura's fan base.
I see people talking about like the horrible things they want to do to Gura. Like every time like I see a Wyatt post, there's like a 50-50 chance it's him talking about like the horrible things that he wants to do to Gura. And then it's like, ooh, Gooba's live. I love Gooba. I'm like, Wyatt, come the fuck on, Wyatt.
Yeah. Like, yeah, like her fan base is insane. I think might be my own personal rat is she's a little bit afraid of them. That might be contributing to her burnout. But she doesn't encourage the parasocial shit.
No, she definitely does not.
Yeah, she's not leaning. She's just being a silly goober and just putting on a show. I mean, she picked that shit up, but like that's not where she goes with her content. And I feel like if you're a girl that's a flesh streamer, even if you were just doing that with your content, I think there would still be an air of suspicion. And while I think it's undeserved on the content creators' part, this is the closest you'll ever get to me being kind of an internet feminist here. I think it was like earned by other people outside of yourself. You know what I mean? So
right.
It's like I'm a girl. I want to stream, but the biggest girl streamers are whores. They are OnlyFans bitches that just sit in a hot tub for the worst men in the world. Because the only people I hate more than the Twitch thought streamers, the hot tub bitches, are the men that just take my money. It's like men in name. They are men in name only. Like otherwise, like the only thing about them that is men is their genitals. Nothing about them is a man. Like they and the whores they orbit ruined it for you. And that's terrible because you didn't do anything, right? You didn't do anything to deserve that. Just because you happen to have the same chromosomes as these awful people, you can't catch a break.
Well, the other part of it is that now we have, not like just yesterday, but in the past couple of years since VTubing has taken off, those same women have found their way into VTubing because, again, there's no way to gatekeep any of this because it's, someone said it best, and I know that she'll probably be watching the thing right now, so I'm sorry I forgot their name, but but it was I think it was Ari, but she said that because Evanito was talking about, can the fucking VTuber community just like chill out for like 5 fucking seconds, and she says this is not a community, it's an industry. and it's
Yes.
100% accurate. There's like we went down that one rabbit hole the other night, but when you look at VTubing, like from where we are now, it's like simultaneously one of the best things that has happened to the internet, but it's also equally one of the scariest things, because you see people throwing around real money for all of this. And then when you see the new e-girls, the e-thoughts from Twitch come in, well, now they got a VTuber uniform to wear.
Well, it's not even them specifically doing it. It's like this new wave of VTubers, because like if you want to get in on VTubing but you're not charismatic or entertaining, you just slut it up on your avatar and you spend all of your content talking about sex and your pussy and shit.
Exactly. And so now we're at that point where they're not front and center like how you would see like a FaZe Connect or HoloLive. They're kind of just off in the cut in that very small section.
That's mainly Twitch. Mm-hmm. Like that's why there are great VTubers on Twitch, but for the most part, Twitch is terrible for VTubers. Like just trying to find a VTuber on Twitch is horrible because half of them are just whores. They're just like, there's something about like, and I say whore because like if you have so little self-respect that like you just view yourself as a commodity to make money off of people, like just you yourself are the commodity, like why would I have any more respect for you than you have for yourself? And that includes if you're going to be a whorish VTuber. Like if you're still going to just spend your time for money just cock-teasing men, just sad, lonely men, and they're sad, lonely men. And he's like, yeah, well, it's money. If that's who you are, that's who you are to me, you know what I mean? Like that's it, and I struggle to have any real respect for like Coomer bait VTubers, right? Because it just feels like, oh, you don't know how to entertain an audience. You don't know how to put on a show, or you don't have any charisma, so you'll just titillate. Tee-hee, I have my titties, guys, or my pussy, hee. Like, okay, that's all you got? That's who you are? Okay, well, how about this? How about I turn your shit off? Because there's someone that can put on a goddamn show that's probably streaming right now from like HoloLive, FaZe Connect, or what have you, or like Idol or something. Like I bet Rin's streaming. She don't have to fucking talk about her sex life or pussy or whatever to carry an hour, 2 hour long stream. Why do you? I like,
well, and that doesn't even just stop at women either. It's like in smaller cases, it's the men, which is a perfect segue because I need you to show this to the people, Mr. Gator. So, VTubing it's new and it's still very infantile in such a regard, but I want to show you something that happened overnight that you may not have seen. Okay. So if you scroll down just a little bit, the next section under the V-Dare girls, they're great.
Oh,
you got those boys.
The Mofongo. Yeah, that has kind of been the talk. I started to see this last night. I was watching Hexa, and she said that like some drama happened. And I'm like, oh, what is it? I was like, what is it? And she was like, oh, it's about the stuff that's been going on. I'm like, oh, the Kenji drama. And it's just like, yeah. And there's some like one of my mutuals like was posting this stuff. And so I had to like, like I have to go read this off the stream. And I'm like, oh. And so I started looking on Kuro-sanji and I saw all the talk about Kenji, the Mofongo boys. And I was like, oh, so they set up they set up a Kraut server, people getting doxxed. I was like, oh my God, why does this keep happening?
Okay, this I haven't heard. I've heard of like Kenji having a meltdown.
Yes, because he was being doxxed by people that were essentially his confidants. And they were all kind of just talking shit behind his back in a group chat. And it just led into a whole nother situation with them just doxing him and just being out there like, with his information. But if you look at the new link, Gator, that's the new link, and you will find no mention of them whatsoever in that guest list.
All right, let's pull up.
I assume it's because they said we got some shit going on. We got to pull out.
Oh yeah, it goes right to Mythos. Mythos v Shoujo. Nope. Yeah, they're gone now.
Yep, and the guy Kage, he put out his own Google Doc that just is titled very simply, "I'm sorry," and it's kind of like weird emo middle schooler like type beat. I can't really describe it.
Yeah, he changed his avatar to like a black screen that just says "I'm sorry."
Oh Jesus!
I'm not kidding. Hold on, let me pull this up. This is some next level stuff. Like, look at this.
It's like this is something you do when you get accused of like sexual harassment or something.
Right? Yeah.
No, this is it. There he is. Here's the guy.
It's like I am being canceled for slipping someone a roofie at the workplace.
I'm sorry.
We're sorry.
So I looked into it a little bit, but you pretty much nailed all the points of it. And one of the other things that I would bring up too is it kind of feeds back into the female VTuber thing of these women talking about sex all the time. And don't get me wrong, I think that they're fine. Like if they can separate their IRL and their VTuberness, and like if they're gonna be sexual with their VTuber, like the one Mythos lady, Poseidon, like she does a great job of having like that separation, because you never see her do IRL streams, if ever. Like maybe hand cam streams, but I don't even think she's done that yet. But then you get to the other ones that are like straight in your face about it. And the one girl, if you remember seeing I think you saw it, Gator. It was the one quote tweet where we've already seen the Kenji situation happen. So why in the world would we have a VTuber versus IRL thing where you can post your picture next to your VTuber?
Oh yeah,
avatar?
I did see that.
Shit is just like, yeah, at that point, why are you you're clearly just a VTuber for clout at that point. Like you're just there for like you don't give a shit. You just want attention. Cuz like why are you showing me what you look like? That completely defeats the purpose of being a VTuber. Like you're supposed to be this character.
Yeah, and they're going to go over all of the submissions down low on the 27th, so essentially next week. I think that it's a bad idea given the situation of Kenji and his current problem, but also just we're on the internet. If you're going to be a VTuber and you want to be anonymous and you do not like stalkers, don't post your pictures out there. If you want to keep your job, don't post your pictures out there of you being a fucking whore on the internet. Like that's why teachers get fired all the time. I don't think that it's a good look, but it's also like, you know, like we can't expose our children to this thing. So when the school system does something right like that, we can applaud it. But when there's women doing this on the internet and then they get doxxed or harassed or whatever, then it's like, but you put the pictures out there for random Twitter user Josh Lament 06353 to show up in your mentions and say, I want to do bad things to you.
And you have also the problem of there's a very specific kind of woman. Like it's not a women thing universally, because I know there's a lot of scorned men that spell women with an asterisk. They want to say this is all women, but no, it's a very specific type of woman that just like has that need for attention, right? The Instagram bitch, you know, she's always like, she can't take a photo. Like if she visits the Empire State Building, she can't take a photo of the view. She has to take a selfie with the view in the background. That kind of chick.
Yeah, she wants the instant gratification of it, and she wants it solely for vanity.
Yeah, so like a lot of these women are now in VTubing, and like, oh, you like my VTuber? Well, now I have to take a picture of myself. People need to see me. People need to see I'm looking cute today. The world must know and validate me. This is why, fellas, everybody listen out there. If you have a daughter, go to her little recitals or whatever she does at school. If she gets into a school play, go to her damn school play. Take a break from work to spend time with your daughter. Because if you don't, if you're like, well, I spent all day working, I come home, I'm tired. Nobody cares. Because if you come home and you're tired and you don't interact with your goddamn daughter, the rest of us have to deal with the vain whore she's going to grow up to become.
Do you want to create another Amaranth? No,
yeah,
you don't.
Just because you were too tired. Oh, I've been working at the office all day. Oh, I just want to come home and watch TV, or I guess the internet now, streaming or whatever, and eat dinner and go to sleep. I'm so tired. And then your daughter doesn't see her dad, and the rest of us have to put up with her bullshit. So shut the fuck up, man the fuck up, and go sit in a fucking tea party with your daughter or whatever the hell she wants to do. I don't care what she wants to do. I don't care if she wants to dress you up, motherfucker. Dress up. Because I'm sick of it. All of
Yeah,
this
they got
would have
mad
been
at The
avoided.
Rock for doing that. They got mad at him for spending time with his kids.
Yeah, it's
Imagine.
ridiculous. Just shut up. I don't fucking care how tired you are. I don't fucking care how much your boss is riding your ass. Nobody cares. I'm so sick of all of us having to put up with the results of your distant ass. Because you just couldn't, like, oh God, I came from work, and your daughter runs out, Daddy! Like, okay, honey, yeah, Daddy's tired. Fuck you. Fuck you're tired. Take a fucking 5-hour energy before you walk in the door if you have to. Just because you couldn't emote to your daughter, now the rest of us have to deal with your daughter putting her tits out everywhere and leading a legion of the worst men alive. And mothers, while you're at it, mothers, do the same for your sons, so we don't have to deal with the simps. Just hug your son. Hug your son. Tell him you love him, but not too much. Don't give him attachment issues.
Yeah, don't turn him into Chris. Don't turn him into Chris Chan.
Yeah, just hug your son and take him out to, like, I don't know, McDonald's, and if he wants to talk about his dumb action cartoon, yeah, well, maybe, but
maybe not McDonald's.
Look, I went to McDonald's. I'm fine. I mean, I have a digestive.
All they have to do is just give him the Wolverine toy, and he won't grow up to be a man begging on the internet for money.
Give him the Wolverine toy, and if he wants to sit and tell you about how cool he watched Dragon Ball Z, and he wants to tell you how cool Goku is, fucking listen to him. Pretend you give a shit, just so we don't have to put up with this. Women, men, everywhere listen to this. Just pay attention to your goddamn kid, especially if they're the opposite sex. So for the love of God, the rest of us don't have to deal with what they're going to end up with as an adult. Because I hate them. I hate your sons and daughters. And I'm tired of them.
If they watch a show with anthropomorphic characters, make sure they don't get too into it. And if they do, beat them.
Yeah, you have to stop them quick and early.
If they're really into Sonic. If they're really into Sonic, make sure that they have a reasonable expectation of what Sonic is. Make sure to check their browser history and make sure the words Tumblr and DeviantArt do not appear on them. And if they do, beat them.
Something else has got to be going on with our furries, man. Because, like, Japan, Japan has furries.
Oh, yeah.
They're not anywhere near, like, Western furries. They're just kind of normal. So something else is going on.
Well, for them, it's like more cosplay. It's less sexual, more just like cosplay.
Oh no, they have sexual furries. They do,
sexual. But I mean, it's not as like in the West, all the furries are sexual.
It's a normal fandom right over there. It's just kind of normal. Like so something. Oh, I know what else is going on, but that's a 2-hour-long video essay. I'll turn this shit into a video essay.
Well, once upon a time, there was this guy named Mark Molino.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know the history.
Yeah, like, yeah, I just think it's funny. I've talked about this before. I don't know how much on stream. The furry fandom was a foreshadow. It was a warning the whole time, and nobody heeded it. Because everybody was like, fuck these guys, I'm better than them. And it was like God telling you, you better pay attention. Because if you don't watch your ass, this is you. This is your fandom. They were just the first. That's the only thing.
They were the dark harbinger of portending potential futures to come.
Yeah, for real. And I was like, at least I'm not a furry. Doesn't matter what I do because I'm not a furry. It's like, dude, you're like, you have a helium voice. You speak with a lisp and you wear diapers, bro. What even? Yeah, well, I'm not a furry doing it.
And
like. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, that's what happened. It's like no, it's not that the furries are special. They're just first.
Yeah,
they're just the first.
They were the first to be noticed, the first to become popular, the first to become a community. So obviously, like, everybody saw the weird, messed up shit they were doing, and they're like, "Oh God! Well, thank God that the anime fandom isn't like this."
I still remember back in the day, because I'm old internet, and furries were like that was my reality TV back in the day. I'm not watching this Survivor and shit, but I'm checking. I'm like, I'm lurking Portal of Evil and Crush Shift Destroy every day after school. What are they doing today?
That's why a large segment of Encyclopedia Dramatica was just like cataloging like all the crazy shit that was happening with the furries, like them doxing each other and then swatting each other and doing all sorts of crazy stuff.
Unironic use of the term fursecution. Like
Yiffin hell.
Yeah, I love it. But like looking back, it's like I should have seen that this was like that this was coming down everybody else's way. I remember one of the big things like furries. This is not a fandom. This is a fetish for you, and they'd be like, no, this is just a fandom. We're just a fandom. It's like, no, this is a fetish, and I can prove it. Try having a furry convention without any furry porn in it. No porn at the furry convention. Okay. Flash forward to today. Try having an anime convention. No hentai in the dealer's room. No dockies. No 18-plus panels. You ain't gonna do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. We didn't need the warning.
Not even Offkai is free from that.
Nope. You can't do it. I remember when the con orgy was a furry exclusive thing. Now they have them at MagFest. There was a con orgy at MagFest like 2 years ago.
I'm sure PAX probably had a con orgy.
Probably, yeah. Yeah. It's like they were portents, and we better start heeding the warning now. We better stop using them as a shield and start heeding the warning, because there's one area where the furries are still more fucked up than everybody else. There's one area, and I feel that's next for everybody else. They're conventions. Furry cons are like absolute hives of scum and villainy. Like I've known a lot of like chill furries through it, because I've talked before. Like there's kind of a difference between like furry lifestylers, furry hobbyists, people that are just into the furry thing, and people that live the furry thing. And the furry hobbyists that I've known, they either won't go to cons or they can't go to cons because they're banned from cons. Like they can't sell their artwork or whatever, because that's still money, you know. Like they can't go to cons because they've called out the people that run these cons for either fucking dogs, covering for dog fuckers, being a registered sex offender, or covering for registered sex offenders. Like, that's furry cons, pretty much. Like, you just can't go to a furry con, because it's just evil places now. And, like, I feel like that's next. If we don't start cleaning house, man, you ain't gonna be able to go to anime cons. It's gonna be nothing but registered sex offenders everywhere.
You mean like Damian Mills? Well, he's not registered, but he should be.
yeah. He's gonna be the marquee guest at like Anime Expo, and you go to Anime Expo. I was like, can I see your ass on Unsolved Mysteries?
Bro, the worst part is like there was a video posted like maybe a week or so ago, and they're like, "My God, his range is perfect." It was like, what range? He sounds like Frieza, okay, but now he also sounds like another character, but still like Frieza. He's also this other anime character. Spoiler alert, he sounds like Frieza. Where's the range?
The only thing Damon Mills can really do, his real, and this is kind of how pathetic he is, his real claim to fame as an actor is being able to do a serviceable impression of the performance of a better actor.
Yep.
Like, that's
right.
Like, the fact that he can now, you know, devil is due, he can do a good impression of Chris Ayres' Frieza. But Chris Ayres is the better Frieza. He's just like, you can't have Chris Ayres, you have Chris Ayres at home. You know, like
right.
It's telling that for those who didn't see Dragon Ball Super in English, he played Frieza for the Tournament of Power because that's when Chris Ayres was in the hospital. And it's very telling that when Chris Ayres got out of the hospital, what did he do? Well, not only did he record for Dragon Ball Super Broly, but he went back and re-recorded all of Frieza's dialogue in the Tournament of Power, and when they released the Tournament of Power on Blu-ray and you know all the home releases now, they've replaced Damon Mills' Frieza performance with Chris Ayres. Because when you can have Chris Ayres' Frieza, why would you keep Damon Mills' Frieza? Like, he doesn't do a bad job as an imitation, to his credit. You know, I know people don't like to give bad people credit, but I think it's important to do so. He does do a good job imitating Chris Ayres' Frieza. But when Chris Ayres was around, you had no need for him. And it genuinely pisses me off that Chris Ayres died, man, because Chris Ayres' Frieza was peak. It says something that I firmly believe he's the first man to outdo Ryusei Nakao's Frieza. Like,
that's saying
like
something.
Decades. Yeah, for decades, Ryusei Nakao was like, yeah, that's Frieza. That's the voice of Frieza. And then Chris Ayres comes and he just like cracks his knuckles like, let me take a shot at this motherfucker. He's like Goku stepping up to Jiren. You know what I mean?
Right. I think that's the thing that makes me so sad that a lot of the people on that dub turned out to be really shitty, because like they're really good at what they do. It's like, I don't like Chris Sabat because of what he did to Vic, but like you can't deny that the man is very talented. Or even Sean Schimmel. Yep. Sean Schimmel is fantastic. He's just a piece of shit.
Yeah. I feel less sad about it only because I'm just sort of used to actors being shit, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you get used to it. You know, the actor puts out a great movie, and then he's like sitting there, you know, lecturing you on Cuba or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, you know, Kevin Spacey is a good actor. He's a damn good actor. He's got a lot of other things going
But
on.
don't check his basement.
Yeah, don't check his basement, but the man puts on a hell of a performance. I feel like that's that's kind of thing too. With the only thing with the anime fandom is a lot of them only watch anime. So, like, they don't have that ingrained. So, like, oh, I'll never watch a dub, not because the sub versus dub thing is incredibly gay and it's been going on for decades, and I'm done with. I'm just.
It's been going on longer than the Asuka and Rei arguments.
Yeah, unironic. It's going on longer than most anime fans have been alive. But a lot of that now, like, the argument's different. Like the gay shit's still there. You know, the kid, the guy with Tourette's that can't help. I guarantee you, in to someone in chat or watching on Twitter right now is just prepare to say sub with like 20 greater thans and then dub. Like, can't help it. You know, that Tourette's motherfucker is he's working himself up. But like now it's changed because of the culture war shit and like what's going on behind the scenes. But some of that I feel is a lot of people like, I'll never watch dub because I'll never watch things made by people that hate me, and that just makes me giggle. Like, oh, you sweet summer child. Let me tell you about the video game industry.
We got a super
chat. Tell you about
Damon,
Hollywood.
See, Damon Mills being at Anime Expo just doesn't really bode well for me anyway. So I think they probably had him last year, or it was a different convention. But like, I already didn't have the drive to go into Anime Expo, because once you see how packed it is inside, and if there's shit you want to buy, just buy it online. There's like stuff that's there, and of course you can get it immediately, so you kind of suffer FOMO in that regard. But I can almost get past all of that because Offkai is like a month or two before that, so I could really give a fuck less what's going to happen inside AX and more about what's happening outside of the convention. So if they want to have the pedophile guy in there, I mean, by all means.
I'm talking about where I say, like, I think our conventions they're on the cusp, you know? Like, the furries conventions are like the last bit of warning we can still heed. That's like the last thing we haven't also done as a fandom. And I don't just mean anime, I mean nerd culture in general has just become the furries, except for like a couple little things we haven't done yet. And that's one of them. It's just the conventions haven't completely fallen into just evil. For lack of a better word, evil. Like, I know it's kind of dramatic, but I can't think of anything better. I think anything like more concise to describe the state of the furry conventions now. And like, that's the last thing we can prevent. If we could just, it's like furry cons and collecting paraphilias, because I think they still hold they're like the reigning champion of the collection of paraphilias. Like, there's not really a lot of like cockvore outside of furry fandom, you know?
Yeah, they do have all the weird stuff. Yes.
Yeah. That's like the two things they still have that's uniquely theirs. And please just let them keep it, everybody. Let them have it. We've already adopted so much shit that they do. Once we're gonna get to the point where someone's gonna come on the elevator at the anime convention.
Oh God.
We're a little too close, and I think like having Damon Mills, you know, as a marquee guest at an anime convention. I feel like that's
heading down that road.
That's the moment where the ominous BGM kicks in. You know what I mean? Where the music starts to spoil what's about to happen. You know, I feel like that's the vibe I'm getting. That's like
the music changes. All of a sudden, you see at the bottom right corner of the screen, saving in progress. You're like, oh no.
Yeah, it's like because I've been rewatching Dragon Ball for since Toriyama died, and I've been on Super now, and it's like when Goku throws a spirit bomb at Jiren, and the music just turns to that dark, and Jiren starts pushing it back, and the music stays as that bad guy music. You know, Goku's not pushing that spirit bomb back. You know, he's not pushing that shit back. The music is telling you. There's no hope. He's not going to push the spirit bomb back while that bad guy music is playing. And I feel like Damon Mills getting celebrated like this, that's the bad guy music kicking in. It's like, uh-oh, here it comes. Like, we're just going to let that bad guy music play.
Because Damon Mills was like he did the stuff that like they tried to say Vic did and he didn't. Like,
we have the receipts.
We have the receipts. Damon Mills like actually did this stuff.
Yeah. Like, we have this shit he said on, like, I think it was like Facebook, wasn't it? Or was it
Yeah,
Instagram?
I think it's Facebook. One of them.
Yeah, like it's damning. Like, it's just there's no plausible deniability for the shit he said. And then, like, it's very obvious they pressured his accuser into recanting. Like, the fact that the industry circled the wagons for him and then did what they did to Vic pretty much proves everything that everyone was saying about the industry at the beginning of the Vic shit. Like, it was entirely politics.
Yeah.
Damon Mills, he's gay, he has the correct politics. They're going to circle the wagons for him so they can prop him up. Look at our gay actor. We're so inclusive. Here's our rainbow flag. And then, yeah, Vic Mignogna, he voted for Trump. Get him out of here.
He's a Christian and he voted for Trump.
He's a Christian, he voted for Trump, and he's getting, like, big gigs. Like, he's becoming a director and a producer. Like, I want that. I want his position. I want to dethrone him so I can take his throne. How do I dethrone him? Well, he voted for Trump. We got to get him out of here. You know, it's like in reality, they wanted the fact that he was succeeding, and the fact that he wasn't in their little club just pissed them off. Like, if he was succeeding, but he was voting right, they'd be fine, and they would go to him for jobs, you know, Chris Abbott. But the fact that he was succeeding and wasn't part of their little club, well, he's got to go. And like I said, this is the Damon Mills, man. That's what is the one thing furry conventions are doing now? They're covering for sex offenders. And like, uh-oh. This is like it's like how I felt when the first con orgy showed up outside of a furry con. Like, uh-oh. I know where this is going. Ruh-roh.
I've seen this one before. That's pretty much where we are in our current lifetime, is that we are the Marty McFly. I've seen this before.
Yeah, I've seen this one before. What are you talking about? Like it just came out.
Yeah, it's like the Leonardo DiCaprio.
Anything. Yeah, it can be anything. It's not just like what we see on, the internet as far as Twitter goes. It's not even just voice actor stuff. It's not VTuber stuff. It all kind of molds together. You've seen this story before. You've seen the end of this movie. You know where the plot twist is. The thing that they said is not happening, it seems to be happening.
Yeah. So I'm saying this, hoping folks listen, they spread the word, they clip us, whatever. Folks, we gotta accept the fact that we, as a fandom, as nerd culture, we turned into the furries for like 80% of what they do. We were so busy laughing at them, we didn't realize we were becoming them. But we haven't been 100%. We could still stave off that last 20% and hold out a little bit of our dignity. Just let's not fully jump that shark, or the anthropomorphic shark that looks like just the
anthropomorphic shark with tits.
Yeah, that looks like just a leathery wolf. Like, I hate. Don't get me started on how furries do shark characters. It pisses me off. Why do your shark personas not look like fucking street sharks? You had the chance was right there, and you decided to make
it was right there for the taking, and you went with it's a wolf character with sharp teeth and it's gray. It has a shark tail.
Yeah, it's like the oldest aesthetic in all of cartooning, and the internet just kind of surrendered it to this niche group of weirdos for some reason. Like, no one can do anthropomorphics anymore, and they don't even do anything with it. Like, if we just surrendered it to them, but they did cool stuff with it, fine. But no, it's just slap an animal head and tail on whatever body type gets me off, and there you go. There's my Frisota. You motherfuckers can't. As a character designer, it just pisses me off on like a whole nother level. Forget all the degeneracy. It's like, yeah, we all know about that, but also you motherfuckers are wasting it. You're wasting the oldest style of cartooning in all of cartooning, and everyone just kind of gave it to you because they're afraid of you.
Because they don't want to do it. It's like, here, just take it and leave us alone.
They don't want to look like you. They're like the guy afraid of looking gay in the gym locker room. Like, oh no, you have it. I'm not a furry. It's like, and you don't even do anything with it. Just okay, now a muscular wolf with a big dick. Now a muscular dog with a big dick. Now a muscular. What are you doing anything with this? You suck so bad. I hate you. Oh, the internet's ruined. I love the internet, but sometimes it just ruins things.
Oh boy, does it. Speaking of talking about conventions, Winter of Lame donated $1.99 and said, "Magfest orgy, dear God, the smell."
Oh yeah, I can only imagine.
That's the one thing I never look forward to with conventions. It's just like people just don't know how to wash their ass.
It's a funny thing. Like I went to Otakon for several years in a row. I never really encountered that on a large scale. I don't know if it's because the Baltimore Convention Center is large and like more open. I guess maybe it can breathe better. But I never, in my conventions that I've gone to, I haven't noticed a lot of a smell. And I think I just had one hell of a lucky streak. I've even went to some small ones, and you know, there's that one guy that'll walk by. But overall, it's like, no, this is just a normal smell. I don't get where this stereotype comes from. And I think it's like kind of like how when I played Sonic Heroes, I never ran into a glitch, and everyone was talking about, oh my God, Sonic Heroes, there's bugs everywhere, there's glitches. Like I never ran into a glitch.
I think that's really what it is. It's that you happen to go to the right conventions at the right time. That all like the stanky people weren't there. Like at Anime Matsuri, I didn't really have a problem with that. Because a lot of the fans that went there were like more like YouTuber stream fans and stuff, and those are the people I interacted with the most. And those people, they know how to wash their ass. They know how to put on deodorant.
It was so fucking hot. That I think it was like last year at Anime Matsuri when you and I were there. It was so fucking hot. Like if it was gonna stink, that would have been the year to stink.
That would have been the year that like everybody would have smelled like butt. But everybody like you had to take a shower after you were out there. Like I probably took like 3 showers a day when I was there because it was just so freaking hot. I get back to the apartment, I'm like, oh God, I gotta take a shower. I'm so sweaty. It's so disgusting. Ugh.
It's like as soon as you step outside the convention center, it's like the surface of the sun.
Right.
It's like, this is how they feel in sub-Saharan Africa. Oh my God. It was, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. There was no oxygen in the air when you stepped outside. It's like, you step outside, and then just drop. It feels like it's nothing but just some kind of nitrous oxide or carbon dioxide. It's like, there's no oxygen here.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about Offkai because like a large part of Offkai is like outside, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's in Canada, isn't it?
Wait, what?
Isn't like so is the center of the convention, is it like where all the...
No, it's all covered. Everything is covered.
Okay, so it's like it's like the Gaylord up there in DC, right? So it's at it's got like the big glass top, but you can see like all the hotel rooms and stuff from the atrium or whatever.
Yeah. It's all inside.
Okay, good. I was worried about that for a minute because I was looking at it and I was like, oh God.
The breeze from the Bay Area is nice, especially on that side where it's not as warm as most places, but when you go to like the Central Valley, you hit this point in the mountains where when you switch over, it immediately hits 90. So we're on the good side.
Thank God.
Yeah, because look, I love VTubing. I love VTuber the fandom as a whole, but I also acknowledge a significant portion of the VTuber fandom is the kind of guy that probably doesn't shower.
Yes, I am concerned about that.
Yeah, because I know there's a lot of guys that are self-medicating VTubers because they're depressed and like, you know, life ain't great. And, you know, I'm not shitting on you if your life ain't great. But I also acknowledge as a neutral observation that when one is depressed and their life ain't great, they don't take care of themselves. And when they don't take care of themselves, you can smell them coming. So, oh, cool. Mint's going to be there. Oh, Ami.
Yeah, I was scrolling through.
They got a good lineup.
Yeah, they have a lot of people that are going to be there, and that's why I think this year they're really feeling out if they're going to stick with the current venue that they're at, or they're going to move probably further into San Francisco. Because a lot of these companies like V4 Mirai, they're San Francisco based, so they're probably going to just go to an even bigger spot if demand is large enough, and if they get more people to show up.
I gotta say,
because this is the first year with
Oshi's going to be there.
If I'm not mistaken.
Henya.
Nice. Also, speaking of V4 Mirai, if anybody hasn't checked her out, I know V4 Mirai is kind of getting a lot of buzz because their new wave was like, it went off like gangbusters. From that new wave, if you haven't checked her out, Dr. Nova, spelled with an E, but the E is in parentheses. if you don't check out anything else she's done, her design was done by the same artist who did Selene. But go check out her debut, because she has to have had the single best, most interesting VTuber debut I've ever seen. Like if you remember Amelia Watson's famous debut, blows Amelia Watson's out of the water.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So
they did a lot of research about these new talents when they debuted. They across the internet, snort. They put in a lot of time and effort into their debuts and make them as unique and as interesting as possible. And you have to remember, last year when they were at Offkai, there was only 2 talents. Now they're like, what, 8? 10?
Yeah.
Something?
V4 Mirai is kind of coming out of nowhere. Like, they were there, right? But they weren't really a name. And then, like, that new wave hit, and then now all of a sudden, we're talking about them.
There's one video that this guy does a walkthrough of. If you see how small their booth is, or was last year, it's gonna be like triple the size. It has to be.
Yeah. I mean, good on them, you know? I mean, I want to see as many companies succeed as possible, as long as they're doing right by their talents and audience. I hope we have 100 VTuber companies, and they're all like
they're all awesome.
Yeah, that's what I would love to see.
And I'd like to see some of the ones that have had problems in the past, like get their shit together. It's like, and this is something that like the Niji sisters don't seem to. Oh no, that's a slur now. Ooh, Niji sister. That's something that the Niji sisters don't seem to understand, is that we don't want Any Color and Nijisanji to continue doing the things that they're doing. Like, we want them to get better, because I don't want people to experience like what I had to experience with the characters that I like, the livers that I like, losing their jobs and having to basically rebuild from scratch and not being able to be this character that you've invested yourself in, like Selene and Pomu. Like, I don't want people to have to experience that for like their favorite, their Oshis. I don't want them to have to experience that. I want Any Color to like wake up and realize, hey, the way that we're doing things isn't working. We're actively hurting our own talent. We're hurting our own VTubers. We need to like get our shit together. They need to we can still make a profit and give them more than 2% of the revenue that they're bringing us.
Like, I like the aside from the clique, I like a lot of the talents in Nijisanji. I want to see them, be treated right. I don't want to see Rosemi have to quit being Rosemi. I don't want to see Petra have to quit being Petra. Like, let them do their thing. Let them continue as they are with the fandom they have, and everybody be happy. I want to see Nijisanji clean up its bullshit. And part of the reason I think a lot of people are calling them out is for that reason. Like, stop it. It's not, the only reason people are cheering the downfall of Nijisanji is because because of their own actions. Like, if you're fucking up, you're going to find out. And they're finding out as they fuck up. And really the only celebratory aspect of this is like, hey, the world is working as it should. Bad things are happening to bad people. But like, we don't want ill on the talents. As long as they're not one of those sociopathic clique motherfuckers. By all means, like, I would love to see Niji clean out the problem people, flush them down the toilet, keep everybody that's been, behaving themselves and being good, get some new management, and kill it. Take off. Do great. I don't want the things that happen to Pomu to happen to Pomu. I don't want those things to happen. I don't think anybody does. But just, I want to see them pull their heads out of their asses and go back to entertaining people, because that's what VTubing's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun, damn it.
Exactly. This drama is not supposed to happen. It's just an unfortunate like side effect of some greater illness at large.
Yeah, like,
but you see, there's a thing that VTubers do though. They don't care about fun. Like the very small number of the who's, like the one guide people. They want to make sure that you're using your platform as a VTuber to talk about politics. I guarantee you right now, you go on Twitter, you'll find the VTweeters talking about how you, the viewer and the talent, should be going out of your way to talk about Free Palestine. And it's like, bro, I just want to watch a funny anime girl play a video game. Shut the fuck up. Trying to have fun on the internet.
Like
And I want to see my retarded hamster get forklift certified after 7 hours.
I love that retarded hamster.
She did do it though. She did it. So
Great.
She did. Hold on, let me find the tweet. Because she posted it. She posted her victory.
I love that. I can't get over Phase Connect, man. Like that's the rapid growth, the fact that company keeps winning. They have like a very specific type of talent that they've just kind of stuck with, and it's just working like gangbusters. I love it, man. Phase Connect stock to the moon, man.
Yep, that's why we're gonna buy Phase coffee this year at Offkai Expo.
There it is. Certificate of completion proudly presented to Amy.
Amy's great.
She's rapidly become one of my favorite Phase talents. She's so funny.
You kind of see like it feels very deliberate, like that kind of thing where a VTuber company hires a talent and it's like, okay, well we have these models ready, and then there's the one like goofball, and it's like, oh yeah, you're getting this.
You're getting the goofy one.
You're getting the hamster. Yeah, we got like 4 or 5 models here, and one of them is clearly designed for the weird girl. They're just waiting for a weird girl.
The Pippa in every gen. Yes.
Yeah, or like it's just that one. It's like, yeah, here's the sexy one, and here's one of different designs. You got the one like the gremlin. They're just made from the ground up. They don't need to organically become a gremlin like Ame did. No, they're made like we know.
We know that you're the gremlin. You're the gremlin.
We have a character ready for the gremlin. And Amy feels like that. It was a little hamster girl with the hamster mouth and everything. Like, yeah, that's they were waiting for that chick. They were waiting.
It was a match made in heaven or hell.
Yeah.
Let's rock.
Gotta love Phase. But that's what VTubing is supposed to be. That's why it blew up. It's like, man, everything's miserable right now. Lockdowns and everything. Oh, we got people just kind of having fun and playing pretend and being goofy.
This cute pink anime rabbit is screaming, I'm gonna up a Walmart!
Oh, before that, you remember, it was Miko screaming the N-word.
That's right.
Saying the N-word. And I was like, look at the funny anime girl. And then you get deeper in, it's like, oh, there's kayfabe. They're like, they have lore and they're pretending. And it's like, oh, that's funny. Like, she's a rabbit. She says Pecco all the time. She's a big goofball. She comes in there all smug. Oh, blew up in her face. Ah, ha ha.
And then everybody's making fun of her laugh. Boop, boop, boop,
yeah.
boop, boop, boop.
That's funny. And it's like, and it's like, we're so inundated with like YouTubers always grooming everybody and some shit always happening every other day, or somebody dropping a political
This just in, another YouTuber at a Super Smash Brothers concert. A Smash Brothers gaming tournament has groomed another kid. Oh no,
like,
oh god,
more chat logs from another Minecraft YouTuber. No, that's cool. This is a great world we live in. And it's like, oh, is my favorite funny man now going on about current thing? That's awesome. I love it. And then here's the VTubers like, what's politics? There's no politics in Pecco Land. I'm just trying to play this video game. Do 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 do. I blew up my face like that's delightfully charming. I wish to watch some more.
It's like derp derp head empty Pecco derp derp. Here we go.
Exactly. I think that's what we're here for. And then like it got bigger, and as a side effect of it getting bigger, the awful people came in. It's like, ooh, is that clout? Is that clout I smell? Well, I happen to be addicted to that.
Might I have a crumb of clout?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh god, we gotta deal with this shit now. I think though, what's helping VTubing really is just the fact that HoloLive is still pure. Like the fact that that's the biggest one.
They're the top. And they're pure, and so they get to set the ground rules for everybody else.
Yes. Like the fact that it's Nijisanji that's doing this and not HoloLive is genuinely saving this fucking industry. This fucking medium. Like VTubing would be shit if HoloLive were the stinker. But the fact like a high tide raises all ships, you know? And the fact that Yago is like yanking that tide up, and everybody else has like this good, basically a good space to play in. Whereas if the biggest contenders were all scummy, VTubing would just kind of be gross, you know? Like, it's kind of a wretched hive. It would be a wretched hive of scum and villainy. It's like a furry convention. Like, I don't want to be in here. But like the fact that like the biggest one, you can always count on, even if this company fucks up or this company does something or this VTuber doxes this guy, you can always count on HoloLive still being there as like a nice base. It's just like they'll do you right.
And they'll do right by their talent too. That's the important thing.
Yeah. You can count on them to set a good example behind the scenes. You can count on them to set a good example in front of everybody else. You can always count on HoloLive to treat you and the industry right. They'll treat you right on a meta sense, and they'll treat you right in an audience sense. And thank fucking God. Yago, we all owe you so much shit, man. Because that man and his ethics are genuinely saving this entire new medium. VTubing, I think, would be dead if HoloLive was as bad as Nijisanji. I think it would be dead.
Oh yeah, it would. There's no way it would have survived all of this.
Yeah, and like, thank God for that shit, man. Because that's all you want, man. You just want to see.
You want to see cute girls doing cute things.
Yeah, or like even that, like just that. It's that kayfabe and the fun. Like, you need that. And this is why, it's like I said, it's a big reason why guys are kind of struggling with the VTubing thing. It's not because, you know, it's not just, you know, oh, well, they're not cute. No, because a lot of the guys got main character syndrome. Like, you gotta just be, side character
popular.
Dudes,
I was about to say, okay, the most popular VTuber dudes, there's two kinds. There is the boyfriend experience guys. You don't want to be those guys because your audience will be nothing but psychopathic fujos. And then there's, you know, the side character guys who are, you know, who does everybody like the most in any anime? It's the goofy side character that makes everybody laugh. Like, everybody likes that guy. And that's what's so great about Tempest, is because all of them are the goofy side character. They're all
honestly,
they're all like giant, massive goofballs.
They are holding male VTubing on their backs.
Yes, they are. They really are.
For real. Like, because you have, because I don't even know if you could call, like, technically the boyfriend experience are popular, but when I think popular, I don't just think numbers, right? You think like impact, like global impact or impact on a scene, you know, and they don't really have an impact besides like negative impact. Like, everyone kind of hates their audience, they're annoying, they make fun of them, you know. Yeah, it's not what I would consider popular, even though it's technically popular. And then like other male VTubers, like on Twitch and shit, it's just like, you're barely a VTuber. Why? You're only really a VTuber to hang with the girl VTubers, you know? Like, what's your kayfabe? What's your bit? What's your thing? You don't have one. You're just a regular ass streamer. You're not VTuber. You're not putting on a show. Because VTubers got to put on a show. You're just playing League of Legends with an avatar. You're not doing anything. So like, you got to have that bit. You got to have that thing. And like, Tempest are really, I think, and they'd probably be doing better if Magni and Vesper didn't leave.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah, like and even if they didn't leave at the same time, you know. But they just, like, Bettel feels like he's like the biggest right now, and like, I think Hollow Stars English might need like another wave just to get some good, like, they got decent talent, right? But I feel like they just need they need another Magni and Vesper. They need another like dynamite off the bat. And it's a shame they left. I mean, more of a shame for Vesper, because like, it's just, he just kind of realized. I mean, you kind of get, if you followed his new character and persona and everything, well, his old one, but you kind of get that he just said, yeah, corporate stuff, just, I can't vibe, I can't jive. I'm a little too male Manhera for this. Like, he just kind of realized, like, yeah, I just gotta walk away.
And there's a lot of people that just, you know, companies just aren't their thing. Like, I know a lot of people people floated the idea. It's like, oh, well, you know, you could always join another company like FaZe Sayu, and I've had to convince people, like, Sayu just does not mesh with corporate culture, and neither does Dokibird, by the way. I've had to tell a lot of people that. I'm like, Dokibird is best when she is allowed to be free, and even though she is a flightless bird, as we saw in her airplane stream, she needs to spread her wings and attempt.
Yep. I mean, I think it depends on the corporate culture too. I think like how much freedom they give you, like what is the average of how much that you want to do will be restrained versus how much will that corporation like put into you and elevate you. You know, I think it depends on what you want to do. And the only thing though is like we've seen this in V Shoujo where they'll leave corporate culture. V Shoujo is technically a corporation, but you know they got a lot less limitations. And I think someone
Shoujo is a
out
corporation in name only, like Matura said. It's kind of just there to help facilitate deals and stuff and work with collaborations. It's not a company in the sense of like any color or cover, or even phase. It's like sort of like a loose association.
Yeah, and someone pointed on the Virtual Asylum, I remember this, that it's kind of like we're kind of focusing on the fact that a lot of talents will leave, especially Niji, and go there. But and you know, Hololive go there. But once they go there, they don't do anything. It's just kind of a complacency soup. I feel like Matura is really the only one with any ambition anymore. Like Keisan, for as much as she's accomplished, especially as Coco, as Keisan, like, what does she do?
I think she's primarily been focused on like becoming a voice actor and actress.
Yeah, like she's kind of leaving that sphere, that streams.
Yeah, I do really feel like Keisan's kind of leaving the VTubing sphere a little bit, and there may it's like I don't think she'll ever like be completely done doing VTubing, but I feel like she's more going into the IRL stuff now that she is an accomplished actress.
Yeah, and like, and I give her a pass because I feel like she won. You know what I mean? The accomplishment she did as Coco, and she left on a hugely high note. I feel like, and you know, she's the reason that VTubing blew up worldwide. So I feel like Coco won. So as Keisan is just her victory lap,
right?
But for a lot of the other talents that leave and they go to V Shoujo, they don't really do much afterward. They just kind of exist. They stream. But it's like, it feels like that corporate culture did push them to be bigger entertainers. Like, you think of, what is a Hololive talent done? Well, let me tell you about their Spotify playlist of all their songs. And, oh, they put on this, and they're doing this major event. And it's like, it pushes them to be more creative and to do something special. And even the streams, like, oh, we're going to a big intercompany tournament of this game or something, you know, some big event. It makes you do events. It makes you catch people's attention more. And, oh, God, look at all the crazy shit Ame does, you know? Whereas, like, you go into a V Shoujo, you go indie, and then you just kind of exist. You just kind of, what am I going to stream today? What am I going to stream today? And it's like, you know, when they're really got a good personality and everything, that's fine, but it's like, it's there is something positive about the corporate culture. I think people forget that it really does push you to be like the best you can be. Not even just not in a Nijisanji kind of dog eat dog rat race kind of way. That's not the way you want to do it. But the corporate culture does, like the VTubing corporate culture does push you to be more than just, oh, I'm gonna stream a video game today. What video game do I stream? What video game do I stream? What video game do I stream for 2 hours? Okay, bye. Okay, bye. You know, spinning the wheels.
Yeah, and I think, and you can see like the difference in the talents that are like super driven to do stuff and create new things versus the ones that aren't, because it's like you look, and Iron Mouse is always doing something crazy, like she's planning a concert or some crazy event, and Henya's always doing like crazy stuff and tons of collabs with people. Like, you can see, like, the talents that are super driven. Matsura is another great example. Like, she's always cooked. She's always got something cooking. Like, she created this whole podcast with Mint to kind of get Mint back out there. And because I honestly believe that the Mint was ready to just kind of give up on VTubing, because, like, that's kind of her personality is, like, you know, she's very easy to get, like, distraught about stuff and get down on herself. And so I'm so thankful. And I will forever like stand for Madara because of this. Yeah. Madara like saw what was going on and like talked her up and like took her under her wing and was like, "Look, this is your dream. I'm not gonna let you just give up on your dreams because bad things happen. I'm going to push you. I'm gonna push this little maid ghost to the moon, and you come under my wings, and I'm gonna make you soar." And like I am forever grateful for Madara that she did
Yeah,
that.
she's great. She's great.
Because like
100%.
Mint is like completely fucking thriving now, and I'm so happy. She's finally she's free. She's able to do what she wants. If she wants to stream for like 6 hours about a Metal Gear Pachi slot, some company's not going to tell her that she can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been fantastic seeing her back and seeing her thrive after, because I think we all knew she was kind of down on herself and down on things in general, and just not, dude. I think Nijisanji just beat that woman down, man.
They did. I mean, of course, this is all speculation. All speculation that she was going to get Mori got the collab with Metal Gear, and a lot of people speculate that was supposed to be Pomu's, and like I couldn't imagine. Like right, it'd be the same thing if like I was working for like a VTuber company, and like let's say that Mages approached me and was like, "Hey, we want to do like a huge collab with you on a Steins Gate project." Like I would be so like you don't understand. Like cue the yip yipper Bugs Bunny bouncing around losing his spaghetti gif. Like that would be me. Like I would be super hype, and then like the company comes back and then says, well, sorry, Gator, actually, we're not going to let you do this massive collaboration with Mages on Steins Gate. Like you're not going to be allowed to do it. Like I would be devastated. I would be so devastated. Like I know exactly how she felt in that moment. Like, and that's why she left. That they weren't like that was her dream. Like her dream was to do that, was to collab with Metal Gear. Because that's her favorite game. She loves Metal Gear. She loves Metal Gear as much as I love Steins Gate.
That's supposed to be what being in a corporation is supposed to be fucking
they're
for.
supposed to help you. They're supposed to help you do stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, look at HoloLive. Corone played Sonic, got really into Sonic, and then what happened? Oh, well, now she became like a Sega ambassador. She has like a Sonic alt.
Yes.
Like, her alt costume now. Like, that's supposed to be the whole point of getting into a corpo, is for shit like this. And then she got into Metal Gear on stream in the corpo. There are the entire clip compilations and the streams. I don't know if Pomu streams are still up, but somebody probably archived them if they're not. Yeah,
they are, and all of her clips are still up too.
Yeah, of like just compilations of her getting it. We could watch her in real time become a Metal Gear fangirl. Like it's very rare. It's one of the great things about it, because like I like Metal Gear, but I don't like play them. But like I respect it. You know what I mean? It's not my thing, but I have a lot.
Metal
of
Gear has always been my thing. I've kind of been known a little bit as like the Metal Gear guy. Like even during the like on the Stream Me era, I was playing through all the Metal Gear games on stream.
Yeah, like that's
what brought me to Pomu actually. It's Metal Gear.
Yeah, I like it, but not like it. And like I've played it. I like the games. Like I respect it. It seems cool. Not my thing, but I'm down with it. So like I watched her play through it, and it was really cool watching someone in real time, because you rarely ever get to see something like this in real time, find their favorite franchise.
Yeah.
Like when's the last time you can watch a recording of someone discovering their favorite IP, their hobby, their new thing? Like you can say it. You can go watch Pomu play Metal Gear, and like there it is. There's the start of the brain rot. And that, if she were in HoloLive, they would have capitalized on that 100%.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, she probably would have gotten. I mean,
they would have licensed Metal Gear merchandise with Pomu on it. Like
100%.
Konami would have like tweeted it out. Like it would have been a huge thing. Like there would be like billboard ads. There'd be like vending machines with like Pomu X Metal Gear. Like it would have been like everywhere.
They'd have had her sing that terrible sneaking song instead of Callie.
Well, it probably would have been a different kind of song. But
yeah, well, for those who don't know, by the way, Callie did not write that song.
No.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Konami went to her, was like, we got a song for you, and like, well, it's money. But that was not her doing I feel like I should stress that just to help preserve her good name. Like, no, Callie was not responsible for sneaking, eeking. That was not her. She was just the voice.
Yeah, Poma would have had probably a much better style of song, I imagine.
Yeah, it might have been, probably would have had a little more, I don't know if it would be J-pop. Would you do J-pop for Metal Gear, Konami? I don't know. Konami's kind of soulless these days, so who knows?
All right. Well, we've talked about VTubers enough. Let's get into the localizer drama.
Oh, God.
It's about 4:41, so I know you have to leave pretty soon, so we're probably going to...
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. We're going to wrap it up here pretty soon. Oh, yeah. We got to talk about the Miku Expo. So we're not going to do the localizer stuff too long because there's always going to be some localizer shit. But I actually recently wrote an article on Fandom Pulse because I noticed that the titles of some series I had been keeping my eye on had... like there's of course, you know, like the translation in Japan, which is what we usually refer to the series as when we first find out about it. And then they get the official localizer version of the title. And
you're talking about the... Is this the... Oh, yeah. Because it's two. I forgot. There's the second one. Because everyone's talking about the elf girl. There's another one.
yes.
The stupidest title I've ever heard. Go, Loser Ranger.
Yeah, so I wrote this on Fandom Pulse. This is fans call out localization of anime titles. Sentai Daishikaku as Go Loser Ranger and Elf Sanwa Yasararanai as plus-sized elf.
Yeah, I was talking to you about this before the stream started, but think about the plus size thing, right? That's an actual industry term before it became a PC term. Right, because people just kind of adopted it because they thought it sounded nicer than fat.
It sounded very fat positive. Oh, you're not fat, you're plus-sized.
What plus size means, it's a retail term, and it basically means these are the sizes bigger than what we would normally sell in a brick and mortar store because they're not going to sell that well because they're bigger than average, and you want the average sizes in a retail store because that's what's going to actually get off the shelves. If you have the XXL, that's why you don't see a lot of XXL at like Columbia. If you go to Columbia, you see small, medium, large, maybe extra large, and there'll be less of them. The X large, XXL, that's plus size. That's we make it, we have it, but that's extra. That's plus. That's over. That's like plus what our normal average thing is.
You see that a lot more with women's stuff. That like, his men's stuff usually goes up to like 3XL because we some fat dudes. But typically, women aren't expected to be like 5XL. That's kind of a fairly recent thing. So like the women's stores usually will go up to like XL as like, and that's like their limit. And like the dudes would go up to like 3X or 4X because we some chunky boys.
Plus size is originally supposed to mean it's a retail term for this is bigger than our like
basic stock.
Like our basic stock. Like you can order this if you're, a brick and mortar place. Don't expect to sell a lot of it. This is like extra. So it's plus. It's extra sizes. That's what it's supposed to mean. The adoption of plus size as a nicer way of saying fat, I just think is funny from that perspective.
Yeah, because it's these people that hate corporations and hate capitalism, but they're using a capitalist term.
Yeah, and it's a capitalist term that's their way of saying fat people clothes.
Right.
So I don't think this is as nice a term as you think it is. Because the whole reason this term exists is to say this is clothes for people that are so fat that there aren't as many of them in the populace. So we won't sell as many. They are so fat they're in the minority. They're a special kind of fat. That's what that size means.
Exactly. And so, like, the two titles have typically been called Go Loser Ranger is called Ranger Reject, because that's literally what the title translates to. Sentai Daishikaku
that rolls on the tongue better too.
Yeah. Ranger Reject. It's alliterative. It sounds better. It actually captures what the show is about, because the show isn't it isn't about like it isn't a reference to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's a reference to Super Sentai. It's kind of like, what if the Super Sentai team was actually evil and hatched this like plot with the like, what if they defeated the big bad and then decided, well, you know what, people love us because we defeat all of these monsters. What if we take their henchmen, like wrap them up into this scheme where we pretend to fight them for the entertainment and adoration of the masses, but actually we're you know, they're throwing the fight every time, and so we're gonna build up this huge popularity, build this entire industry based around us and people loving us and giving us money and corporate contracts and ad deals and stuff, and it's all fake. And then one of the henchmen decides, you know what, this is bullshit. I hate this. I'm going to infiltrate them and take them down from within. That doesn't sound like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but it's one of those things where like one of these localizers that wished they were a writer saw it and was like, "Oh, I'm going to be creative." Or Reddit, big quirkin' heckin' Reddit chungus. I'm going to call it Go-Go Loser Rangers because I'm so smart. I'm creative.
It doesn't even make sense. Like it's not that them being losers.
Right.
Like they're rejects because, like, you know, Sentai aren't supposed to do this. That's bad, Sentai. You're bad. You're being a bad boy.
Like that's the whole thing. It's supposed to be like a double entendre, because it's like not only is Henchman D, who's like the main guy, who's like trying to infiltrate, like not only does he suck, but also the Sentai team, the Dragon Keepers, they suck too, because they're not like normal Rangers. They're bad.
Yeah, they're not. It's not that they're losers. The loser Rangers. It doesn't make
implies
sense.
that they lose.
Yeah, and it implies that they're wacky. They're gonna like try to do poses and fall in their face or some shit.
Yeah, it gives an entirely different connotation to what the series is than what it is, and it's the same thing with Miss Elf Can't Lose Weight being changed to plus sized elf, because it implies that like. Because plus sized is used as like this fat positivity bullshit where it's like, I'm not fat, I'm plus size. It's okay to be a fat piece of shit. I don't have to lose weight because I'm big and beautiful and that's how God made me. No, but that's not what the show's about. Like this elf. So this elf travels from her original world and she gets stuck in like Tokyo. She gets stuck in the real world. And she discovers fast food and she becomes a fat ass because she can't stop eating fast food. But then it turns out she can't get back to her home world because she got too fat. So she has to try to lose weight so she can go back home. And it's like the whole thing is like let's be real here. It's like fetish shit. But it's really, really, really funny fetish shit.
Look, it ain't my thing. I think it's dumb, but one of my best friends in the world is a chubby chaser, and he loves it. That is his thing, and God bless him. Throw guys like him a bone every now and then. There you go. You have fun. I don't want it anywhere near me, but you have a ball, buddy. You know what? Fat girls need love too.
I like what Respect Elves
how
posted.
Hard would it be? What was it?
I like what Respect Elves posted. It's called Elf Son wa Yasararanai, which is Elf Can't Lose Weight. It's a manga about a fat, retarded elf trying but failing to maintain a healthy weight. It's not about fat, ugly women with Disney princess tattoos and pit bulls. Plus size is only the Localizers title. It was such a great encapsulation of like the problem with this change.
Yeah, it just feels like how hard would it be to like something like, I don't know, the elf's diet or something? Because the whole point is she's on a diet. It's in the title. So like the elf's diet. There you go. It's simple, to the point. You see that the elf's diet and you see the fat girl. Well, now you have an idea of what you're getting into with this story. Plus size elf, just you look at that. If you didn't know the original title, it just feels like this is made by some Westerner.
Yeah, it seems very like, and that's the problem I have with Go-Go Loser Rangers and plus sized elf as titles, is they seem overly westernized, like to a negative.
Yeah. It just feels like, oh, the whole point of this, it's about like elves can be chubby too. Like, no, the party is she's trying to not be chubby, even though it's chubby fetish shit and it's eating fetish shit. But like the point is like, oh, well, she's trying to lose weight. You would never get that that's the premise if you saw that title. Like you would never get like, because you should look. I hate sentence titles. That this thing that Japan does now, I fucking hate it, and I feel like that's usually a sign a show is bad if the title is an episode summary. But you should at least have a punchy title that gets the idea across. Like, oh, like if I see Overlord and I see the title, I know I'm not getting some story about the good guy. I'm not. I didn't have any idea when I opened this book this was going to be about a villain that's a skull wizard that's going to try to do. I thought I was getting an adventure about some young tykes coming of age or some shit. Like, no, you see that title, you see that cover, you know what you're getting into. You're not going to know what you're getting into with these titles because they are not representative of what the fucking story's about. Like, plus-size elf, is just, she's trying to lose weight. She's trying to not be a plus-size elf. There's a diet involved. Go-Go Loser Rangers. They're not losers. Nobody's losing. They're pieces of shit. They're Ranger rejects, because Rangers don't do this, but they're not losers.
And we go back to Seven Seas because at least with the plus-size elf title, Kodensha was the one that the Kodensha USA came up with Go-Go Loser Rangers, and I know it was one of these shitty localizers that you see. Like just pick one of the names out of the hat of the shitty localizers that are associated with all these companies, and I guarantee you pull a name out of a hat, you're probably right. It was probably that piece of shit that was responsible for it. But Seven Seas is particularly known for doing shit like this. You know, it's like I feel like we're in the SpongeBob meme. How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? You know, they're back again. They're the ones that came up with these plus-sized elf name.
Fun thing about Seven Seas feels like I don't know if you could call it like Coomer's remorse. Like Seven Seas used to be, they would pick up and then bring overseas like all the
weird fetishy stuff,
or just like sad. I mean, there's no nice way to put this. So sorry to everybody watching. But it's for the stuff for the sad dudes, right? Harem stuff, girlfriend stories.
Isekais.
Is this a story about isekai? Anything that's supposed to be, hey, sad dude, project yourself into the story where you get bitches. Like that was Seven Seas' bag, and like then they got Frank and Fran and pissed me off. Like, why are they fucking Seven Seas getting Frank and Fran? You don't deserve Frank and Fran. But that was kind of like their thing for a while. Was like the shows that like I talked about before a lot that Funimation would get, they would license as kind of a mill these cheap, ecchi shows for this kind of guy,
like Dragon Maid,
and those were the ones they would fuck with, like when they would fuck with shows. Because Funimation, as much as they were known for fucking with shows, to be fair, they didn't fuck with everything they got. But they
like the mainstream stuff, they usually left alone. But then like the prison schools, the Dragon Maids, they would absolutely fuck with those, and because they had more leverage to do it.
Yeah, and that's how you know, by the way, things were getting really bad in Funimation. For a brief period in the Tournament of Power, they fucked with Dragon Ball. There was a couple moments they fucked with Dragon Ball. Because I've been rewatching it in English, and I was like, oh my god, that's right. They like seeing Funimation moments in Dragon Ball is jarring. It was specifically. There was one line where they had Kale refer to Caulifla as her one and only, which she did not originally do. And it was like, what? Like, I know Funimation, but it's Dragon Ball. You don't do that in Dragon Ball. And then they toned down the Master Roshi rape joke, which you kind of expect, but still lame. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah. It's still kind of there, but they took out the girls' line because the girls' line was completely different. But it was like, oh, boo. Fun police motherfuckers. But it's weird. It's like, oh wow, yeah, Funimation shit. Oh, because like you kind of remember the era that the Tournament of Power was dubbed in. It was like the peak of Funimation's bullshit. I was like, oh wow, because they still don't mess. Like even a show that I really liked that they did, I'd still watch the dub because I knew like, oh well, Funimation's not fucking with this show. Like they're not gonna mess with. They didn't mess with Saga Tanya the Evil. They didn't mess with Overlord. They did a good job because those were the shows they could sell to the greater audience. They can make more money on those. But so like hearing like bullshit in Dragon Ball was like, it was like I could feel pain in my neck. Was that whiplash? What the fuck? Like that's how bad. It's crazy to look back and it's like, wow, it really was bad that it even seeped into Dragon Ball.
I think the bitch slapping that happened after the Vic stuff, I think it gave us a little bit of time. It gave us a little bit of leeway. It ended up destroying Funimation because now Crunchyroll took them over. Sony merged the two together and just kind of eliminated the stank of the Funimation brand that they had put all over it.
Yeah. Yeah. Crunchyroll still got its problems, and this is still happening. But I think people are still so riled up, ready for that Twitter fight. And I ain't saying, well, keep fighting, because you've been making headway. Sometimes y'all get a little overboard, get a little melodramatic, but you're making headway, so keep fighting. But, like, I think people kind of forget, it has toned down. It still happens, but it's not as bad as it was, like, let's say, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Is that the time frame? I think it's about that.
I think that's about right.
Like, they're not doing the bitches, bros, and non-binary hoes type shit, if you remember that. I don't even remember what show
God,
that was.
I remember that. It was I can't remember the show, but I remember that dumb shit. Yes.
Yeah, they're not doing that as much anymore. Like, because now they know if they do it, the whole internet's going to jump on them, as they should. Keep it up. Yeah, but like,
do not give them a moment of respite.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but that's stored in their head now, so it still happens, right? We still get iffy stuff, but it's not.
We still
as bad
get cringe, but it's not as bad as it was.
Right, and it's just keep it up, and I think eventually we'll get to the point where I see. I'm a white pill kind of guy. I think we'll get back to the era of like 2000s and early 2010s dubs, where at that point sub versus dub was just a matter of preference. Like, both were fine. You could just what do you want to watch it in your language? Do you want to watch it in Japanese? Do you like Western naturalistic acting, or do you like Japanese theatrical acting? Like, which do you prefer? That was the difference. That's why the sub versus dub arguments were so stupid back then. Because like, why are you fighting? It's just two different types of taste. But how do you want the line delivered? How high do you want the pitch of your women?
Right.
But that's now sub versus dub has legs, and that's kind of annoying because I'm from the era where it didn't, so that means I never got a fucking break. This shit's still going on 20, 30 years later, and like then you stupid fucking localizers just injected new life into it because you had to impress your California friends, and I just hate you so much. I just want it to end. I want to be free. I want someone to be able to pull up a clip. Look at this cool moment from this anime, but it's dubbed. And I don't want to have to deal with that one dude with Tourette's. Like, is this the dub?
Is this the dub or the sub of this? Because if it's not the sub, I don't want to listen.
Yeah, like, who fucking cares? Like, they pulled it up because look at Goku do the cool thing. Who fucking cares what language he speaks? The whole point of this clip is to do the cool thing. And the guy, but it's the dub! Shut up. And now that guy is emboldened. He is stronger than ever because of what the dub companies have done. Because now he's got a moral argument. And like, fucking Christ. I'm like, it make me hate the localizers more than I think. Like, when you've been around the anime scene this long, it's like adds to the localizer hate. Because now you've just reinvigorated the shit that should have been dead. It's like the motherfucker like hearing like The Simpsons has been renewed for another 5 seasons. Like, would you just fucking kill it? Just fucking let it die. The sub versus dub debate's the same thing. You hear some dude say non-binary in an anime. It's like, motherfucker, here we go again. Another 5 years of this shit.
Oh, here it goes.
Yeah.
Well,
I just
don't
want
worry,
it to die.
I've been working on a video and I have to redo the entire thing, but it's like anime has a villainess problem where they go down this weird website of where people can just kind of rank things, almost like a tier list maker thing. So they have a ranking of anime villains, and she's like, well, the first character that's not a male is Orochimaru that's on this list because he's the first non-binary character. I said, no, that's not how that works. And I'm not even a Narutard, but at least I know a little bit about the source materials that I hate. So Orochimaru is just a guy that happens to know like this body transformation jutsu thing where he can like, he goes into other people's bodies. Like He takes over them. So he's still a guy. He just takes over other people's bodies sometimes. That doesn't make him non-binary. It's fucking stupid and annoying. But that's not even really the worst part of the video. But it's like it's one of those things where they shame you, the men in the audience, for liking villainesses that use their body as like a way of enticement. Like they are very scantily clad and they're evil, or they have to be like Esdeath where they look cute but they're evil. And in the video, she's thirsting over Dio from JoJo, and I'm like, so we're really making this video and we see nothing wrong with it. And of course, it's from literal Who, 155,000 views. I don't know where these people are coming from. That all of a sudden they're figuring out that anime is not made for me. That's a problem. I want it to be made for me specifically.
It's entitled. And then we end up like, I want it. Give it to me. Oh, it's not made for you. Well, make it for me. It's mine. I want it because it's popular. I want to be popular. Because like they're still going on the same logic that got them through high school as an adult. Like I go with the popular. Make me popular. I want to be popular. This popular. I get on thing to be popular. Oh, popular thing not for me. Well, make it for me. I need it. I need it so I can be popular. Like it's not about the art or the medium. It's about using it for clout, popularity, and dopamine hits. And if they have a problem with the thing they're trying to use, they'll just try to shape it so it's more palatable so they can continue to use it for their own purposes, which is clout and dopamine hits. That's the problem. Like it's just anime and superheroes and comic books and all this geek shit is the thing to use to get you some high numbers on social media, and that's all fucking matters. Like they'd be making fun of anime geeks if anime wasn't this huge phenomenon in the West. That's how they all are. And it's okay for them to be horny and other people not to be horny because they view like men, and because they're jilted, they had bad relationships in the past, so men are the other. They're an enemy, but they kind of still need them. So they want to lust after Dio, but when men lust after women, it's like, oh, I'm remembering my ex. That bastard. Stop it. Stop looking at that woman right now. It's kind of how it goes. It's like we all have to put up with damaged people's personal problems. Like when you say like, the hypocrisy.
Velma exists. Velma is literally that.
Yeah. It's when you think of the hypocrisy, well, it's hypocrisy, but really all it is just because it's damaged people with unresolved personal problems. And rather than seeing a shrink or talking to their friends, they've just made whatever's going on with them everyone else's problem. And now we have to put up with it.
God has allowed me to live another day, and I'm about to make it everybody else's problem.
Yes, exactly. That's where all this comes from. And once you understand that, it's a lot easier to just kind of, you got to call them out, right? Because if you let this shit fester, it's just going to get worse. But you don't get as angry. Like, it kind of rolls off. You're like, oh, there's the jilted woman again, mad at men because her last couple boyfriends cheated on her, and it's our fault, so Lara Croft can't have boobs. Like, okay, shut up, lady. Shut the fuck up. Look, it's not our fault that, you drive men away.
Yeah, and she's not going to be raiding tombs anymore, so,
yeah, she's going to be raiding the pantry.
Yeah.
She's going to get fat like Alloy.
Fucking, those Nikocado avocado Alloy edits still kill me. Because of how, like, yeah, she does look like him. All you have to do is make her a little fatter, like, oh my god, it really is him.
It's crazy. And just look at all of these beautiful women that they use as the models for these characters, and then like you look at the result and you're like, what the hell? And then you have something like Metal Gear Solid 5 comes out where Quiet actually looks like the actress, and there were all of these articles about how Kojima is Konami are such sexist because look what they did. No real woman could have a body like Quiet's, and then you just like literally see the actress and you're like, oh yeah, she's got fat tits.
It's angry, bitter women and the sad men who have exhausted all their other options willing to appease them.
Yeah, 100%. That is it.
Yeah. Yeah, because like these angry, bitter women wouldn't even have a case if these guys that are surrounding them weren't. Because it's a lot of in that tech sector, game development. It's not a lot of. It's not like it used to be where it was like regular dudes that knew how to code. Like the guys that made Doom. Like it's not that anymore. Now it's like a lot of the nerds that were pushed around. They're not getting the hot chick. They're not getting the normal girl. Because there are plenty of normal girls. I know a lot of incels. I hate the term incels, but there's no better term. And like guys like that are like kind of bitter and jaded. Like all women with an asterisk. So other women are like this. No, let's just be real though. The ones that aren't like that, you gotta do some self improvement if you want them. And these guys aren't gonna do the self improvement. They're fucking game programmers, and they're depressed. They're sad. Their life ain't great. They ain't gonna get.
And they're getting just enough dopamine from the internet women they're simping for to keep them from like actually making positive changes in their life.
Yes.
So they're content. They're sad and depressed, but they're also like not sad and depressed enough to want to do something about it.
The thing hasn't kicked into the back of their head. Is like, I have to fix this. Is a problem. I have to fix it. They are getting enough of that dopamine, like you said, to keep them in that state of mind where it's like, oh, this is normal. This is fine. This is fine. Everything's burning around.
This is fine.
Yeah. So like you have those guys, they're not going to get a good girl. They're not going to get a good woman that's going to stick by them. They're sad, pathetic men. A good woman isn't going to hook up with a sad, pathetic man. She knows like, oh, he can't be trusted. So she's going to hook up with a good guy. And then these sad, pathetic dudes that are now awash in the gaming industry are going to be stuck with these manipulative, damaged women that know they can play the sad, pathetic guy. And we saw that in that fucking Ratchet and Clank game. Because if you remember, they had introduced like the girl Ratchet, whatever the hell his race is supposed to be. And she was just going to look like a regular female version. And then some chick, some fat girl, and it was like a fat, unattractive.
It was a fat, unattractive, dumpy woman.
Well, yeah, who's like, well, she can't have breasts. She can't be in any way attractive. No, you have to change that. And all the guys around her, because none of them would say, that's stupid, we're not doing that. In fact, if she's hot, that's furry money. Do you know how much money they have? No, we're doing that.
They would pay extra if you put the boobs back on.
Yeah. And like, no, they couldn't do that because like they see this unattractive woman get mad, but the unattractive woman is like all that kind of surrounds them. So like, yes, ma'am, because they're, again, pathetic. So they acquiesce. And then I don't even think that game did that well. I think they did kind of okay, if I remember correctly. Could be wrong. But like, and he's just thinking, like, if I'm right, he's like, you think you could have made a lot more money on them furry bucks if you had oh yeah, this is the same thing too with Pokemon Go. Now it's like, oh no, can't have pretty girls in Pokemon Go.
Well, it's not even like about like pretty or not. It's like you can't have female body types in games anymore. Like you can't have an hourglass figure, you have to be a refrigerator.
Because the women that are pissed are refrigerators.
Yes.
And it makes them feel bad about themselves. And how dare you make me feel bad about myself? And I have the ear and the fear of very sad, very low. I don't want to say testosterone. It's not. I'm not doing the Andrew Tate thing. Low like self-confidence men that will just bow. So you get the angry fat girl yelling at the Miltons, basically Milton from Office Space. It's a bunch of Miltons. Yes,
that's a good way. That's a good way to describe it. They're all Miltons.
Yeah. Yeah, so you get the fat, angry girl who's mad because, like, boyfriends broke up with her, no one did anything when her uncle touched her, whatever her personal problems are, her personal problems are now your problems, and Milton can't say no, so Milton acquiesces. Like, a lot of people think it's DEI, and DEI is around, right?
It's part of the problem, but it is not the only problem.
Correct. Like, a large swath of this, even outside of DEI, is just this kind of like, these girls have issues and these men can't tell them no.
Right.
Like there's no one in that studio that'll like, she'll go, this is a problem. And there's no guy to say, no, it's not. Get out of my office. I'm not changing it.
We need more rocks in there. Shut up, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Like there needs to be more men. Because I think you have also this generation of men that just are told that like, you have to be nice to women. Like it's that, like, chivalry didn't die. It just kind of morphed into simpery.
I was about to say, like, chivalry didn't die. It just metastasized into this, like, this like disgusting form that no longer resembles what it once was. Because like
There's a difference
guys want to do nice things for women because we like women and we think they are pretty and we want to have babies with them. But what's like changed now is that you can't really be chivalrous anymore. Like like they get mad at it. So like some of these dudes have decided to like take chivalry to its like to like the dark side and morph it into this like disgusting like self-flagellating version. I said virgin. I mean, yeah, that's a problem too. But this version where they just like they just can't say no to these women, no matter how like fucked up the stuff that they're saying and what they want to do is. They're like, oh God, female attention. Oh, she wants me to do something for her. I have to do it. I have to say yes. I can't have a backbone.
Yeah.
Me when VTuber.
Guys just can't like. They're just so starved for female attention. They'll just do whatever a female tells them to do, even if it's the dumpiest, most unpleasant female. She's got 2 X chromosomes, man, and at the point that the guy's at, and again, there's a lot of the thing ingrained in them, right? You know, you should be extra nice to women, not even just for the simping thing, but like you know, women they do childbirth and periods. You don't know what that's like. You should show them a little love because you don't have to do childbirth and periods, you know. So that they just got to get in their head that they need to be these just utter like it's like a non-romantic simp, right? It's the milady. It's the tips fedora milady type thing.
Might I have a crumb of pussy, madam?
Yes, but it's not even like going for the pussy. Like a lot of it is like you have these like predator dudes like that Stone Toss comic.
Yeah, the male feminists.
Yeah, exactly. You have that. Like that's a thing. But I think it's like, you know, we already know about that. I think it's important to address what doesn't get talked about a lot. It's just these guys that just kind of have it programmed in their head that I have to be nice to women because like that's what men do. And it's like, no, you have to be respectful. But when a woman is being a bitch, you treat her like she's being a bitch. Just like if a guy is being a bitch, you treat him like he's being a bitch. Like if a guy is being an idiot, you say, shut up, idiot. When a woman is being an idiot, you also say, shut up, idiot. Yeah. Idiocy is not exclusively a male trait. It is, everybody can be an idiot. So like the problem is these guys just kind of have it programmed into them. And I know some dudes are going to blame society or whatever, or there's some, it's intentional, it's conditioning.
We live in a society.
I think it's just kind of like you said, like chivalry
metastasization.
Yeah, it's like it was already there for hundreds of thousands of years, and then shit kind of changed, and just
one of the strands of DNA changed, and it became cancer instead.
Yeah, pretty much. So like, it's something that's always been around, and because like things changed, and guys didn't kind of change with it, and didn't kind of realize that like, okay, yeah, treat women equally to men. That's great. That also includes calling them out the way you'd call out a man. And there's a lot of guys that didn't get that second part. Okay, treat women equally. Treat women equally on the bad side too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, they can work. Women can work in the workplace among men. That's great if they want to. I'm fine with it if they want to. I'm making them in the workplace is shitty. But if, like, I know my girl is like, no, I want a career. Like, okay, have one. It's great.
Just leave the thermostat alone.
Yeah, if you want it, go for it. If you can qualify for it, if you have the skills, and that's what you want to do, land of the free, baby. Let's go. But then also, if you're going to be in the workplace and you fuck up, your fuck up should be addressed the same way a man's fuck up would be. And it's because there's a lot of guys that didn't get that last part. They're like, yay, women in the workplace. Okay, now treat them like men in the workplace, and you won't do it. And that's causing a lot of our problems. And that's the thing I think isn't getting really addressed. Like people are so, you know, culture war and what is the plan? You know, there's some shady shit going on.
But like, when you trace all of this back to its root cause, it begins with a woman having a shitty idea because she's mad her boyfriend dumped her and she's, you know, she looks like a sack of bricks. And she's like, and she sees a pretty woman being designed in this game, and she's like, "That's so bad. That's so problematic. We can't have women. What'll happen about the women that look like me that see this character and feel so bad?" And you know, it goes back to some guy at the studio with power, just like bent the knee to her and let her have her moment, and then it became company policy. It always goes back to that.
Yep. All this could all be avoided if there were more guys that could tell a woman no and weren't afraid of them. And I get like being afraid of HR, and that's kind of like that is a result of what we're talking about. Like what we're talking about started the policies that now cause all this fear in the workplace. But at the beginning, this could have been all averted if there were just more men that could tell a woman no. And because that like they didn't sort of adapt fully, that like that male instinct, I guess it's an instinct, it's like learned behavior over generations of like, treating a woman differently because, chivalry and, open the door for her. Oh, my lady. Oh, you're special because you're my mother, or whatever Freudian shit. Like they couldn't get past that when women started getting into the workplace and started having positions similar to men. They couldn't say, okay, you're in a man's world, you get the same man treatment. If that had happened, we'd been fine. We'd been fine. If you could just, a woman works in the office, I tell her a dick joke like I tell my guy friends, and when she says, you're being a jerk, I respond to her the same way I would if a man told me I was a jerk. Yeah, go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Like, if we could have just done that and stop treating... Like when we started treating like a woman who heard a dick joke like she was raped, like that should have been a sign. Like there's a bigger thing going on here that's going to cause a lot of problems, and it just kind of just was allowed to continue. Now here we are. Now we can't have pretty women in media anymore because a couple old men, like 20, 30 years ago, couldn't tell a damaged woman no. And I hope that now as things have changed, guys have sort of learned that lesson. Now that we've seen the results, it sucks that like change doesn't happen earlier. We see this in like a political landscape, right? We see the Overton window shifting, but it took all this other bullshit happening for the people at large to go, hey, wait a minute. And it's just like the frustrating thing. You wish they'd say, hey, wait a minute earlier, like they'd get where this is going, but they don't. But at the very least, the white pill is they do eventually. Just takes them fucking forever. And you have to lose good things first before you get the good things back after people realize. But we know now. Have fun with this now. But if you want your white pill to kind of close off this little thing, we will have titties again. Because you see it. You see it. Stellar Blade is going to sell 1 million copies. And that's going to make businessmen go, hey, wait a minute. I thought putting boobs in our product hurt, but these guys put boobs in a product and they made lots of money. I want lots of money. I want money. And I guarantee you're going to see like SNK is going to drop City of the Wolves. It's going to have tits in it, and all of a sudden you're going to start seeing tits in fighting games again. Like you're going to see this kind of change. It's going to be slow. It's going to shift back because people don't like this. People are making fun of Pokemon Go, and then someone's going to release something with actually tits in it. People are going to buy that, and then there you go. So you're gonna get your titties back. Just gotta wait. You keep bitching. Keep bitching.
Keep shouting at them and talking shit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I'm not saying this to make people complacent. Like no, it's coming. It's great.
No, you should never be complacent. You should continue to fight, but we're winning.
Yeah, just a reminder. Head up, chin up. Progress is being made. Overton window is shifting. We're winning. Just keep it up. Just be relentless. With your head held high, don't get black-pilled.
Eyes up, Guardian.
Don't be super autistic about it. When you start trying to make this into a weird fantasy LARP, that's when they get the last laugh.
Yeah, right. Don't be weird. Because there are people that take it too far, and you're just going to give the other side ammunition. Don't be like don't Fed post. There's a reason they call it Fed posting. You know, like that kind of thing. Like don't be weird. Don't be super autistic. If someone being super autistic around you, call them out. There's a lot of people, too. Call out the coomers, too. Because there's a lot of people that are just addicted to porn that are trying to make this the moral issue. It's like, no, this has nothing to do with, like, the actual inherent problem. This is the fact that you are a porn addict, and this is getting in the way of your fix. Like, call those guys out, too. Because if you don't, you turn into the furry fandom. That's kind of how the anime fandom got as bad as it did. Because there's a lot of coomers, and people were like, no, it's fine. We don't want to be judgy. Like, that's what the furry said, bro. Be judgy. Judge the fuck out of people.
You should judge people. They're into weird shit. They're into weird shit.
Yeah, root those motherfuckers out, because they're the ones that are going to fuck up your argument, because you're like, hey, no, let women be beautiful again. You know who really likes beautiful women? Women, because women want to be beautiful. And, like, you're going to have the weird guy, yeah, I want to see more beautiful women. When that weird guy shows up, you get the fuck out. Get the fuck out, Weird Daddy. Get him the fuck out of here. He smells. I can smell cum on him. I shouldn't be able to smell that, but I can smell it on him. Like, get him out of here. Like, that you gotta know those guys, and, like, no, don't retweet the porn addicts hot take.
Not only should you gatekeep your hobbies, you should also gatekeep your controversies too.
Yes, 110%. I think that's the real takeaway here.
Gatekeeping is good. You should always gatekeep. Gatekeep everything. Gatekeep VTubing. Gatekeep when you're shouting at a company because they make all of their women dumpy refrigerators. That needs to be gatekept too.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. Because I don't think folks realize too how much you need the normies. You need the normies on your side. And you're not going to get them if you look like a bunch of weirdos. Because what really, really put the spurs to the ass of this localization discussion was fucking Asmongold talked about it.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Like, that just shows you.
I wrote an article about it.
Exactly. You can be the most hardcore, passionate anime fan, bro. I'm going to tell you right now, you don't matter. You are one dude. There are 5 of you, maybe, in a room of 100. They're not... Only a niche company going after you is going to cater to you. If that company gets a taste of the general public, you don't mean shit. So you need to get the general public. So, like, a lot of, like, the localization stuff, like, that's another thing needs to be gate kept, because some of these guys that are hardcore about it, you need to shut up. There's people that are trying to relitigate ghost stories. You know what I mean? Like, did they really lie about why they changed the ghost stories dub? Bro, no one cares. People love the ghost stories dub. You're not going to make any localization headway if you're trying to tell people actually the ghost stories dub was bad.
Actually, ghost stories was bad and you're stupid. No, people like it.
Yeah,
people like Samurai Pizza Cats. Just like who cares?
Yeah, people like, even stuff like Dragon Ball Fighters. Did they mess with the script a lot? Yeah, they did. Doesn't matter. People love it. People love Cell's dunking on people. There's entire compilations of Cell roasting people in Dragon Ball Fighters. You're not going to convince people it's bad, actually, because that wasn't in the original script. They're just going to go, yeah, well, it's better than the original script. And what are you going to say? Well, the Japanese people didn't write it, so it's bad. Because the normie's just going to say, yeah, well, that was really fucking funny. That's really cool. It made me like Cell more. So you're telling me you want that removed.
Krillin, you're a lot shorter than I remember.
Yeah, people fucking love it. I love it. Like, there is a place for localization that makes a product better, as opposed to localization that makes it better in the eyes of a failed writer. You know what I mean? It's like, there's a difference between, I see what you're doing. Localization should be a prism, right?
Yeah.
It should bring out what's already there, as opposed to changing it into something it's not. If you're arguing against prismatic localization, you're just going to drive away the people you need to make change. You need to show them stuff like Dragon Maid. That's bad. That's twisting localization. Like, you're not going to say, actually, Ghost Stories was bad and they ruined Ghost Stories. It's because everybody's like, no.
Black translation, black localization, like how Any Color is a black company. It's bad.
Exactly. It's a difference between... But I'm going to use this and no one's going to know what I'm talking about because I made up my own terms, and it's usually autistic as fuck to do that, but I think we might need it. There's a difference between black localization and prismatic localization, or prism localization. There's a difference between localization that is done with ill intent. Oh, I don't like... Localization done by people like, they don't like the original. The original has problems. I'm going to fix it.
It's something that's problematic, and it's something where, we thought that it'd be weird for the male the teacher to be lusting after the students, so we just made him a little bit of an incel, and I'm proud of it. Yeah, and then they posted on Twitter. That's
black localization, and then you have prismatic localization, like one of the greatest examples, Cyber City 080. Is this a gritty cyberpunk, right? This is like some hardcore cyberpunk shit, and it's really violent. Okay, well, we're going to have everybody cuss like a sailor, because it's already pretty R-rated in the content, so it only makes sense, and it's pretty gritty. You know, the main characters are ex-cons, they're, the prisoners, so they should be she'd be cussing like a sailor. And you know what? That soundtrack, yeah, that's all right. But you know, you're going for a more hardcore vibe. So let's actually change the soundtrack. Get some more rock in there. Actually, I got a really good opening for you to really set the tone. Because you got a J-pop opening, which really doesn't convey gritty cyberpunk. So let's get like a hard rock opening with some like techno vocal kind of thing, you know, robo vocals. So really set the vibe here. And now we'll unleash this. I've taken what you already had in mind and I added to it. I didn't change it for my own tastes. I added to it because I know who's going to watch this and what they like. That is what localization should do. Who's the target audience? What is the target audience like? Oh, this show is an ecchi show. It's got a lot of boobs and shit, right? The target audience is going to be horny dudes. Well, then lean into that with localization. If you guys like fucking, what was that, that Monster Girl show, the Funimation
Monster
licensing
Musume?
dropped? No, it's like the one that... Like,
Interspecies Reviewers.
That was it. That show, they should have taken that and leaned into that. They should have localized the shit out of that script and made it like American Pie as fuck. They should have had like guys just outright saying the phrase banging monster girls. Like they should just lean into it because that's who it's for. If you're watching Interspecies Reviewers, you're a horny dude that's into monster girls. Lean into that with the script. Go full on fucking like 2000 sex comedy with it. You don't have to get absurd, right? You don't have to put a joke where a joke doesn't belong. But man, if it's like the two characters talking about like oh, let's go to the monster girl brothel.
Look,
like,
man,
I
just really love elf chicks. What are you talking about? She's like 600 years old, dude. She's like a grandma. Yeah, but she's so hot.
Like, well, that's like I don't know, like bro, it's like an e-gilf. It's an elf grandma I would like to fuck, you know, something like that. Something, it's lame, but like that.
That's what I like about elves, man. I keep getting older, and they look exactly the same 100 years from now.
Like that's what I like about elves, man. They keep getting older, but they also stay the same age. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like stuff like that. Like that would have been pretty funny.
Yeah, that would have been great. That would have made the show so much better.
This is why people like us should be in charge of localization.
Yeah, for real. Like, if you're going to localize, you lean into what's there. Lean into who it's for. You appease your target audience. Like, that's what they should be doing. That's what they used to do. That's why I can never say, you know, down with localization. Translate it literally. Because I've seen don't translate it literally. Localize like a prism. Because it's so much better when you do that. It's so much better. Another great example. One of the best anime dubs of all time. Bakano.
Yes.
Yeah. Bakano. One of the greatest anime of all time. One of the greatest localizations, dubs, and whatever. The dub is the definitive version because it takes place in America and in the 30s and like Chicago. So what did they do? They gave everybody 1930s the 30s America, Chicago lingo. And they had everyone kind of do like accents like that. Like an old-timey Chicago thing. Like that's what you do. That's how you do it. That's how you localize. If they translate that literally, the show that dub would not have been half as great as it was. That's what you do. And that's what should be encouraged. We need to get like the word out. Like, no, do this. Appease me. I am the audience. I will pay you money if you just give me what I want. So if you're gonna localize something, if you're gonna, I'm gonna have a little fun. No. If you're gonna have a little fun, do it like Cyber City.
Or Gunsmith Cats.
Gunsmith Cat, another great example. Had that the dub, if I remember correctly, added that line about the ATF.
Yes, it's like, oh, you're the agency in charge of all of the things. It's like all the things that people like, or whatever.
Yeah, like the dub added the ATF line, if I remember correctly. It's like that's the kind of thing.
It wasn't there in original.
Yeah, because like Gunsmith Cats, what's it about? Who's liking Gunsmith Cats? Chicks with guns. You probably like guns, don't you? If you're watching Gunsmith Cats, it's in the name.
You like chicks and you like guns.
So, you know what? You probably don't like the ATF. So throw a bar about the ATF. They'll love it. That's what you should be doing with localization every time. I want to shout that from the rafters. Like, no, don't kill localization. Kill black localization. This isn't localization. This is like rewrites. This is like, I remember old internet, right? Back in the day. Like, I don't know much about hentai, but I do know this. You'd have dudes that like didn't read Japanese, but they wanted their hentai in English, so they would just they would just kind of guess what was going on based on the pictures and replace all the dialogue. And it was a rewrite. I remember you go on the internet and you'd see rewrite and rewrite. And it wasn't translations. It was just dudes that didn't know English, didn't know Japanese, so they just erased all the word bubbles and just added in their own dialogue based on what it kind of looked like.
That makes me think of Sex Pussy Fuck Blast.
And that's basically a lot of modern localizations have turned into. It's just, I kind of get what's going on. It's like the bad future version of Samurai Pizza Cats. Like, I'm just gonna guess what's going on based on what I'm looking at. Especially with that Jamie Marchi tweet where it's like, yeah, most localizers don't speak Japanese. Well, that really is just like the old hentai rewrites of the old internet. It's the same thing. It's like, oh, I kind of know what's going on here. I'll just wing it based on what I see.
Pretty much. And that's a lot of what, like, localizers get they actually translate it, and the localizers get the translation. They don't actually speak Japanese. They get the script and then they rewrite it, you know. And they're supposed to rewrite it so that it matches the lip flaps and so that it makes sense. But a lot of them like to go into business for themselves, and they're like, "Oh, I want to be a writer, so I'm gonna take this thing and I'm gonna change it because I'm so smart." And it ends up being like, you know, quirky Reddit Big Chungus tier humor. Yeah.
I think the problem, though, as much as everybody loves ghost stories, I think ghost stories did contribute to this because, ghost stories are funny. Oh, they rewrote it. Who rewrote this? You guys sure are funny. And like it
went to their head.
Yeah, and that just went to their head. But like the people that weren't involved in that want to be them too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to have my panel where everyone asks me what I was thinking when I wrote this. I think like. If you do have that, it should be something.
What were you thinking when you changed the line to Sex Pussy Fuck Blast? What was on your mind at the time?
Seriously, are you okay? Like, no, it's like, you think like what they should be doing, right? I remember there's a panel where they were talking about the guys that did DBZ Kai, and they were going over why they did some localization of the line. And DBZ Kai, they did a good job because it's Dragon Ball.
Right.
So they were going over like the logic of like, okay, well, for Frieza's dialogue, he speaks in a very polite and aristocratic tone. So what we did, we made his dialogue very loquacious. We did very fancy phrasing to kind of bring that out instead of just, you know, he says the thing, but he says it fancy. We kind of changed his dialogue a little bit. To like, oh, this is how a fancy educated man would say it. Well, he'll use like extra words that he doesn't need to use and that kind of thing. I was like, yeah, that's how. Oh, there's I don't know if you guys can hear it. The dog
freaking out.
Yeah, there's like these thin ass walls. There's a dog freaking out. I'm gonna go, what the fuck? I will be right back. But you get the idea of what I'm saying. I'm gonna see what the hell is going on.
So this will be a perfect segue to talk about the Miku Hatsune experience. And I think this will be our last topic here. Spooky wasn't able to be here today because she's doing some like real life stuff that's very important. But she wanted me to cover the Miku Hatsune stuff. So for everybody that doesn't know, the Miku Hatsune tour, they go around the country and they do these like concerts. And typically they have a holographic Miku that like dances up on stage. Like you guys are familiar with like the holographic Tupac and all that. Well, they do that with Vocaloid too. And they have like an actual band that plays music live. Well, Crunchyroll decided to go on the absolute cheap with this. And instead of having the holographic Miku Hatsune, they literally just have like a large TV up on stage with Miku on it. And so it's not even remotely as cool as the actual hologram. So people are memeing the shit out of this. Like, hey kid, you want to see Hatsune Miku? That'll be $200, and it's just a TV. That's basically it. You're paying for this like experience, and you're paying all this money just to watch her on TV, like you would a VTuber. And it's the most embarrassing shit. And of course, it's like, you know, typical Crunchyroll stuff. Like they promise the moon, and they just deliver you trash.
I'm back, by the way.
Chat's still saying she's
the
doing
dog
taxes.
situation has been resolved.
I was going over with everyone about the Hatsune Miku tour that Crunchyroll has put on with their with their high school television set that they've been rolling around. All right, guys,
You know
it's
the
time
worst
to watch a
part?
movie.
The biggest offender of all of this is it's not even really Crunchyroll, but it's the people. It's the people's fault. I think I've said this before, and it may almost contradict what we were talking about earlier, but it's consumer activism. Consumer activism does not really exist, in my opinion, and allow me to elaborate. It's because let's look at the track record of Crunchyroll and all of the bad things that they've done. You guys already know a good handful of them. So they used to be a pirate site that said, you know what, we want to turn this into a business because we want to, we want to share the internet and anime at large. And so they then went very, very legit. So they started signing all of these deals with all of these companies over in Japan. That's how it kind of got started. Now, people bought into this project, or the product, I was going to say project, but they bought into it, and they gave them sub money. Okay, that's great. Now we have a place that if, you want to support, the content, air quotes, then you have a way to do so. Well, as time progressed, unfortunately, as it always does, we ended up at the part where you're funding their lifestyle and their job rather than the product. So you remember seeing the pictures of their workspace where they have like the Japanese themed buildings on the inside. They have a samurai room, like it just has like armor that's sitting in there.
We had a guy inside, like for a time, like a new guy who worked at Crunchyroll. The incompetence at that office cannot be understated. Like everybody there, it was like a basically a college anime club, a bunch of weirdos that didn't know how to run a company, which is probably how it ended up getting bought out by Sony in the first place. There's a lot of weird stories about what was going on behind the scenes. One of the ones that stuck with me, for instance, is that awful community manager they had for a while, Miles, the guy that just would get in fights with his customer base.
Yep, all the time.
Like he would refuse to use the company bathroom and would just have to cross the street every time to use the bathroom in the like printing place or whatever that was like across the street. I don't know why that stuck with me, but that's just such a weird thing to do. Like every time you just leave the building to go across the street to another like business just to use their bathroom. Like it was a lot of weird like quote unquote quirky stories that just kind of line up to these people should not be running a business. Like
Absolutely.
That's why you see like, oh, they bought samurai armor. They redid their office to look like the roof of Geese Tower. Like they because these aren't competent business people. These are just a bunch of yahoos that got in a really high place in the anime industry, and they're not responsible. So they're like, we have anime money. Eee! And then it was a point like their IT, like we were told beforehand, and we tried to get the word out that their IT was shit. They had like no back end protection. Like
they have nothing for IT.
Yeah.
That's why Dragon Ball Super, whenever like a new episode would come out or whatever it was, almost every single week, their website would just be overloaded and it would just drop. Even when
I remember we got told by this guy, like, oh man, they're like they have one guy working all of IT at Crunchyroll. It's like one dude. And it should be like a team, and it's one dude. And it's like, oh man, and I think we said something either on the Other Side podcast or maybe on Twitter. So it said something somewhere. And then just like a month later, Crunchyroll got hacked. And it was like
they had that weird Crunchyroll viewer that was uploaded to the site. So when people clicked on it, they downloaded their malware, this weird project.
Yeah. And it was all because like they're telling us ahead of time, like, there's nothing in that site. Like they have nothing. It's one guy.
Well, it's like how they keep leeching new episodes of the new season of Konosuba off the website because they post it, and then like people figured out like how to get episodes when they're uploaded to the server. So like we had the first 2 episodes of Konosuba like weeks before it was actually going to debut.
Yeah.
Yep, before the pay piggies got it.
Yeah.
But again, this is where I'm going with this. But like you can see, like the consumer side of it is that they see this, they can still see this, they can have it presented to them. And as much as I would love to say that I scream into the clouds about fuck Crunchyroll, like almost every month for forever about Crunchyroll, people still willingly go to their site, sign up, give them money because they want to be in on the anime. There's no way to stop it now. It's pretty much
Thing. They just
it's
that's just they
going.
think, oh, I want anime, I get it from Crunchyroll. That's why I said, like, you need to convince the normies if you want to make change. The normies just think, yeah, that's like the anime TV station, basically. It's the same thing, like, oh, I want to watch anime, I go to Crunchyroll. That's just ingrained. Like, if you want to change that, you need to tell them, like, hey, Crunchyroll shit. There's like 1,000 better alternatives. You can just pirate and it's easy. Don't worry about them because they do this, and this. They're going to do this with your money. You just need to get the word out. And that's one of the things I was saying earlier. Like, you have to be normal about it because if you're a weirdo, you're like, oh, well, they're not going to listen to you. They're going to keep giving Crunchyroll money. It's just because that's the whole reason the company's still afloat, because it's just ingrained in the average schmuck's brain. Yeah, I want anime. I go to Crunchyroll. That's just like anime TV.
I will never forgive them for the anime awards that they had this couple of months ago.
Oh my god!
So now, as people know, I'm a light-skinned Afro-American. But I swear to God, when I saw Megan Thee Stallion go on that stage and act as black as Wesley Snipes in a coal factory on a Saturday night, I said, "Wow, this is awful. They probably set my people back another fucking 300 years with this stupid shit." So, I mean,
it's
and people are like,
role at that point.
Well, and people are like, I thought it was fine. She's a pioneer. She loves anime and she's not weird about it. And again, like you said, you need the normies to see that and say, yeah, this doesn't look like something that I want to be represented in. Yeah. This, whatever it is. So when Crunchyroll decided that they wanted to have their own convention, people still went to it. So they get money for that, and they still have to pay for the spot that they rent out in San Jose, California. And then they said, let's go a step further. And here we have Miku Expo, and it's this entire tour of having these concerts, and people went there. There's video evidence of people going there with like their Nintendo DS, and they recorded it. Because, you know, if you're going to spend that much money, you might as well make it memorable, and that's one of the ways to do it. The viewing angles people complained about because if you were in that crowd and you were on the left or the right side, well, you're not going to be seeing a whole lot. And people said we're evolving backwards. Because in 2010, you got the whole thing. Like you said, the Tupac hologram, that's what they had for Hatsune Miku. You go here to the current goddamn year, we're about to have cars that are actually just computers on wheels.
Boeing is talking about have flying cars now by 2030?
Yeah, like we're that close. And look we get a fucking screen that you pay $200 for. Great job. And they could have just, okay, if they're going to give me a screen. They didn't
even sync the screen with the background graphics so that it looks like she's standing on stage. No, it's just straight up like a black background. Yeah.
Well, they had those new LG TVs, like the ones that are
totally see-through.
Yeah, they could have did that. They could have said, "Hey, we're going to be running this thing. I know it costs like probably $200,000, but you know, what's the cost of all of that we're going to get back anyways?" And they just take it around. But
major corporation have less technology than the average Gorillaz concert.
Right.
Like, no, this I think should, like, the trumpet that this is Crunchyroll's fault should be sounded if you want more people to be aware of why you shouldn't support Crunchyroll, because Crunchyroll got in bed with Hatsune Miku, and this is what happened. They just cost saving. Like, how much can we just maximize profits? And it's like, maximizing profits is good if like you maximize within the expected level of quality. Like, you don't maximize profits by turning it into a Chinese bootleg of what people expect. You at least the bare minimum, just take the same tools you used in the last concert. Why you don't even need to buy the new TV? Just what did you use for that 3D holographic one? Can I just use that? Take the used equipment. Don't even buy new ones. Just get the used equipment.
Now, my favorite thing is what Gator has pulled up, and it's a comic of us being the fun police, and them being the ones that are enjoying Hatsune Miku's tour across the country on this fucking screen. See, that's why we end up with more Crunchyroll driven shit, is because you guys aren't having fun. Like, it's the second tweet. I'm not defending Krypton or Crunchyroll, and it's unfortunate this is happening, but sometimes you guys need to hush and enjoy Miku.
God, I've
go
heard
suck
that
the dog
before.
off.
I think the problem is there's the mentality.
You guys need to
right?
hush. You're just enjoying Nijisanji. It's the same shit.
Yeah, it's a negativity bad mentality, because it's like a form of, it's like troll shielding, but it's like taste shielding. Whereas, you know, troll shielding is like, you can't laugh at other people's behavior because you might laugh at mine. It's like, you can't speak ill of other media or other people's tastes because you might speak ill of mine. So in order to protect my fixation, I have to make sure you can't speak ill of anything else. So if you speak ill of the Hatsune Miku concert, even if it's merited, the fact you might be negative, that leaves the door open for you to be negative about something I like. And I can't have that, because I've internalized my interests. And if you're negative about something I like, I'll have a mental breakdown. So you know what? Enjoy things. Let people enjoy things, because that's what they're really saying, is they want negativity removed, to remove the threat of negativity to something they are fixated on. And that's really what a lot of this is. Because, yeah, there's people defending the big corporations and everything, but most of it just boils down to, it's like taste shielding.
Oh, and don't worry. In that same thread, they put their thing about the Arab.org. Again, these people love to shill their stupid shit whenever they're trying to make a banger tweet. But, bro.
Wow, this tweet really blew up.
Yeah.
Go to baddragon.com.
One of my only things about, like, the consumer activism angle,
don't actually go there,
is like when I look at all of this stuff, like, I don't even try to fun police people, because, like, look at me, I play fucking Destiny 2 all goddamn day. That game it's bad, but it's not Overwatch levels of bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
It has the gameplay loop and the content that I have in it, I'm fine with it. But Overwatch literally made people pay for a beta. And I say pay for a beta, and you're like, no, they didn't. Yes, they had to pay for characters in the fucking game. And then the next season here in like another few weeks or whatever, everybody gets them for free. So thanks for beta testing it for me. I don't care that you have fun with Overwatch. I hope that everyone continues to have fun with their thing. But I'm not going to try to fun police people, because I already know what I know. I don't have to engage with Overwatch 2. I only play it with friends because that's the only game that they play. All right, thanks. I'm going to play Destiny 2 over here in my side of the world, and I'm going to enjoy my anime where cute girls do cute things. The one show that I've been watching lately that people, I'm glad, have not came over to is the Salad Bowl of Eccentrics. It's the Americanized name. I'm not gonna try to sit here and be like, it is Hinjin no Salad Bowl. Who fucking cares, nerd? But it's not a gory show. It's just a little fun, little family fun. PG-13 is not gonna blow your mind with like all these revelations, but it's almost like a found family kind of show if you enjoy it. The last episode was about cults. It ended actually really good. So I don't even fun police people. I just stick to whatever it is I do, and I don't even tell people that I'm watching it.
Has your franchise turned to shit? Oh, I wouldn't know about that, says the SNK fan smugly as he kind of does that smug fingernail rub thing.
Like,
it must be rough.
I'm looking at this concert. Like, listen, I'm not gonna fun police people from liking Hatsune Miku and going to Miku Expo. A couple of my mutuals went there, but like, let's be real about the situation when we're looking at it. That concert was ass, and I went to a Future Funk concert during Anime Expo 2019. That shit forever has forever just changed the way I look at any concert or going to any event. because it was a lot of fun. There were people that enjoyed music and they enjoyed life. We had bald head lady in there. She was just vibing out, having fun. They had fat lady in there. They had the drunk guy who just like ran into everyone. He was there, but we were all fucking chilling, just grooving. And it wasn't on a fucking screen. It was like on his MacBook. You know how they are. They just press a button or whatever. They change the song. They put their EQ. There's more to it, but like that shit was fun. This shit is like, we paid $400 to be up close to a screen, and I'm watching it with other people who probably stink, by the way. My Future Funk concert, probably not even that much, maybe $50.
Yeah, it's the amount that they charge is the big thing. Like, this is where just a kind of a cheap, small thing for Miku fans. That'd be one thing. But this is like a major tour. This is like $400 tickets for that. Nah, you don't do that. Nah, everybody should be pissed. Rightfully so. They should never stop being pissed that they charge what they charge for this. Like, you could pay less to see an excellent band in concert. You could pay less. One of the greatest music artists of all time, Devin Townsend. Like his the Retinal Circus was this massive performance with all this crazy shit going on stage with each song. And there was like this big jumbotron with even more shit going on, and just it was going on stage. The tickets for the Retinal Circus, Devin Townsend's Retinal Circus, didn't cost nearly as much as these Miku Expo tickets to see that. It's inexcusable. It's utterly inexcusable to charge that much for that. To charge that much to look at it.
And most of it was on the West Coast. It was all on the West Coast. Like, they had one in like Seattle or Portland or one of those awful cities that people don't go to. But then they had the most recent one in LA like a few days ago. And again, I think it's just the price of it. Like, I wouldn't even be mad if they were like, hey guys, this is like a $25 something, or even if it was $100. And then they give you free shit at the end of it, or they say, "Hey, here's one of these wand light things that you can just, you can have it forever, and it's just a part of the thing." But it's $200+ to look at a screen, and it baffles me. But maybe it doesn't baffle the people. Like, I had a good time. You're just a hater, Necro.
So sunk cost fallacy, right? They gotta elevate in their head because I had a good time, so why are you mad? I enjoyed it. Because the alternative is I got fleeced by something I'm very passionate about. People want to think of themselves as fleeced. It's a lot of hit to the ego there. So it's easier to just go, no, it was good, I went, it was great, I had a good time.
Want to know what's really good? You want to know what's equivalent to this but actually worth it, and it's like half the price? Offkai Expo, $100. You get to go to your Oshi. You can talk to them on the screen. Day one, people aren't going to do that, but like day 2 and day 3, they're all yours. You can just sit there, talk to them. They have fun, and you get more of a personal level when you see them. That's how I knew that VTubers were like, yeah, they love what they do. They want to entertain, and they want to be, for lack of a better word, they want to be famous, even though they're already at that point. But like, they want to be a household name. So when people say, yes, I love VTubers like Gagura and Iron Mouse, now their name can be up there with the greats. That's what you see when you go there. Not a screen with other smelly weebs around me. And they probably don't even know the songs. They just went because FOMO, LOL. And then, I don't know, I'm done ranting. It's fucking dumb.
I think that's good. That's a good full circle, because I think we got to call it, because I got to get going. That's a nice little way to bring it to a nice little full racing lap. We've reached the point we started at with Offkai Expo. I'm just going to keep explaining it to the most autistic detail of what I'm trying to imply to wrap it up. So I got to go.
Oh, for sure. Mr. Gator, are you muted?
I am muted. Shit.
I wonder why you weren't saying anything.
I am muted. Shit. You missed me doing the Diamond City Lights thing. The Taiga. So we got one last super chat before we head out here. I think that was a good place to wrap it up. Sparky's Tech Corner for $4.99 said, "Thank God Ranma 1/2 was made when it was LOL." Yes, God. I'm fearful with I'm fearful with Yurusei Yatsura getting a remake. I'm terrified that they're going to remake Ranma 1/2 and the absolute cancer that is going to come from that happening.
And I can't save you guys this time. I'm not making a fucking 2-hour video to talk about why they're wrong. It won't happen.
There's not enough energy in the world. That's
Ranma
right,
1/2's
Boomer.
gonna
I
get a
had a
whole
Boomer
new fan
moment.
base, and it made me want to jump off a cliff.
Yeah.
Actually, Ranma is trans, and
I don't have the energy to argue why they're wrong. It's like with plus size elf, like she wants to lose weight. She doesn't like being fat. Ranma doesn't like being cursed. He wants to get rid, like the entire premise of the show is that Ranma hates this and wants to get rid of it. Oh god.
There's like 1,000 spicy jokes you could reply to that one. It's like there's too many. I can't choose.
There's too many, and only half of them will get you banned off of YouTube. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. Spooky should be back for the next one. Like I said, she's busy doing IRL stuff. It's actually, I think, probably only the second episode she's ever missed. She's been here for a lot of them and dealing with our stupid bullshit, so more power to her. I want to thank Cody for hopping on, and Necro, of course. We're planning to go to Offkai Expo, so if you guys are also going to Offkai Expo, you will see us there. We may be walking around with cell phones with VTubers on them, giving them a tour of the convention. So look forward to that. You know, assuming we get permission. We're still working on that. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. The next episode will probably be in about 2 weeks or so. Hoping we're talking with a couple of people, trying to get that One Piece episode scheduled, but it's really difficult because I have no clout. I have like inverse clout at this point, so it's tough. It's tough out there, man. It's tough out there, but we're gonna do it.
You're gonna have to hook back up with Ralph if you want to get your clout back.
Hell no. I'd rather die. I'd rather die. Literally would rather die than do that. All right, guys. But yeah, we're working on some fun stuff behind the scenes. I got a list of people I'm going to work through. Of course, you know, ER's always glad to come back on. So hopefully we'll have him back on for another episode of Fun Times. Until then, what you guys do, go out there and enjoy yourselves. Support your favorite Oshi, support your favorite creators, and gatekeep the shit out of all of your hobbies. Until next time, this is Gator saying so long.